I was doing meat from Accra to Circle to Medina. I used to go and sleep with friends. Sometimes when you go, they will not give you the chance. They will tell you their girlfriends are coming around. So I need to go and sleep in uncompleted, sometimes in a kiosk. Because of food, I need to go to Presec to go and wait for the students. After eating, they're left over. I and my friends. That's what we go for. People were laughing at me. Agent who doesn't have a place to sleep. How can agent be sleeping in a kiosk while you give people mansion to sleep in? From the talk, I realized that no, I can do something without a capital. My latest job now is Flagstaff House. I painted Flagstaff House.
As a singer, I had a nice voice. But when I became deaf, my voice turned into different sounds. So I started singing. It was like a shame to me. Around 10 years and up, people look down on you. People know they don't welcome you as if you have done something bad by becoming deaf. That is feeling you get around people. When we finished SS, I was among the best.
Now,
Obek Kanokre. Susu sang pine, be a one ton and be a man in quite baby.
Mommy, you first can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shade and let me £10.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Exchange waiting in so unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like Menya £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for the first transaction. With this send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Check. My name is Perez Ezwakwa. When I'm speaking to Mr. Seth Jima, I mean, if you're on social media, on Ghana media platform for the past 24 hours and over, I'm sure you might have seen him, his works, his emotional interview, his story. He's been trending. He's been all over the place for his incredible work in the UK for the past 24 hours, and we are delighted to be speaking to you. Hello and welcome to GhanaWeb, Mr. Seth Jima.
Thank you for having me, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, my friend. First and foremost, let me say congratulations on your victory. There is a bit of confusion. Is it your first or second victory? Professional?
Yeah, it's my second bout.
Oh, okay. And so the story says that you were a Libra or a Mason here in Ghana. Then you traveled to the UK. So how did it all start for you?
Obviously, I'm from Ghana, and I grew up in there's a small village called Bima. It's in the Asokore sector east. You know, Asokore Fijase, Asante region. I don't know if you have heard about it before. So that's the part of my life. I grew up there. I got 10 sisters, and I'm only one boy of them. You know, so when I was growing up, I literally noticed that life wasn't easy because my parents was going a lot of challenge, but they never gave up on us. You know, so they did everything in their way to support us. Yeah, I used to travel 5 miles to school from village to my school. Cassava, plantain to go to sell them before we get money to buy something to eat, and you use the same money to buy some stuff you don't have at home, you know. So that's the kind of life I grew up. And then I went to T.I. Ahmadiyya Junior School in Asokore, and then I went to Krobia Asante Technical Vocational Institute. That is where I studied building and construction BC, you know. So that is where I'm become more about mason, and because it's part of my subject I was learning in school, you know. And in the vocational time, I traveled to big city with my to go to see my sisters in Brema, Kumasi, and that is where I bought a travel to looking for jobs.
But whilst you were in school, did you do any kind of sport? Were you doing some boxing or some football, or you were not a sports person at all?
Nah, I was the goalkeeper. I was catching girls, you know. I was really good with when it comes to goalkeeping. I was really good with that, you know. But and also I was a very active kid, like, no many the power. So those times,
It's goalkeeping. No, but what time I was school team, baby, and I said it was just if you what time I was here, my dear, no, but what I go and I said, oh, yeah, baby, mom, and I said,
I'm the omugo, and if you so not. I said crack it to a bit now also without much the boss so but boxing there was not part of my life, because me quite mean demand or how you can become a chef. I never boxing home. Me quite home boxing gloves that when I was back home.
So after school, I'm technical school, and then we before eventually the opportunity came for you to fly out.
Like I said, it was all about hustling. Yes, nominate one of my brother-in-law was selling trainers shoes in Babi from Mercury, Kumasi Mercury. Now he's selling Pabo. Then after that, one of my cousins Juma was Santiago. I was carrying a heavy load like beam, you know, take our forest now you loading place. Then we pack them in a big truck container and we ship them to overseas, like Europe, India, Americas, and stuff like that. So I was doing everything it will help me to look after myself and my family. Yeah.
So at what point did the opportunity come for you to fly out?
Around 2012, and when it came up, obviously the opportunity came at once, like we all know. So once it's come up, I was like, why not? Big city. Let me go and see how it goes. So I came here, and there was nobody here I know.
How did it happen? Is it a case that you knew someone and you got invited, or I mean, how did you go from Kumasi to about is then an opportunity there, and maybe you'll be invited to and I said, "Bibina."
No. Charlie, you know, everyone go a dream. What you say? Everyone, what you way there, your dream is maybe just say your dream is maybe to travel to maybe big city like New York or maybe California to continue your life there. You don't know anybody. You don't need to have, or you don't need to know someone there. What you say? So as long as you work, you have a capacity, you have amount to look after yourself. Charlie, you need to go. What you say? So I said to myself, listen, baby, I'll go. So Brabby, and then no. I will chrome her. And then I'll catch him. Oh, let me know, Freezy. When you come, I'll come and meet you at airport. So I was very excited. But when I get to Heathrow Airport, he turned me off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he turned me off. I think my friend could see home phone. I can't remember. And no. Home, their home phone.
Okay.
Yeah, house phone. And Madame be picking what you looking for. And I'm body penetration. Was it one creation? I was like, oh shit.
So how did you survive your early days in the UK with all these challenges?
That is a good question. Yeah, because me buy say now me friend will be or Ghana and now on nipa friend down for be or Okromoa and nipa me tna check akra be 2 hours and nipa be fan free airport then me buy for a ban ho no say how the this is how the life is in the UK. You got to pay bills, you got to this guy one more promise I the that kind of nama then it came to the point that I need to move out from the house. Because me that can so me juma. Because UK life Ghana. If you know something to do, you just enter there and say, "Oh, please, I'm looking for a job." You know what I'm saying? You need to go all the process and here your documents and stuff like that. So it take bro, Charlie, any bread, and even at some point, I met uncle Bia or Munim, me papa. They grew up with my father in that village, Bima. So they try to help me, but once you grow up, you need your own freedom, you know. Sure. And I get out from them, and I get my own place, and then my own place in the crowd. It end up so bad, then, bro. I end up sleeping in the bars, on the street, McDonald's, you know, and a whole lot happened, Charlie. Nipa bread, but obende, yeah, nyaminti yarasutias.
So at what point did the boxing dream start?
2015 to 16. Let me wait on the packet of boxes. That is the boxing fight I'm sure. Yeah, I was like, me boxing with the bam. And then I may wear that would Johnny start checking me. I said, my way the meet my junior. So I just saying just like that, you know. And Madam said, no, bro, these guys are different. They are different level. I'm saying, no, I can't, because one thing about me say, I'm always say, I do be anyone meet me. That is my motto.
Okay.
You know, I always said, Ajuma be anyone meet me. Ajuma, because Ajuma be anyone meet me. It's Ajuma, I will do it because Mekai, Brahma, Bima, Masua, Timba, Masua, like, yet me got trek, Equa did that one thing, be to say, be a Techima near Tom, in Kum near any phenomenon. I've been there before, you know, so it's part of hustler, it's part of me. So I was like, there is no job I can't do it. I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So in some point, you know, 2017, I start boxing, and I'm a core. Nipa class one Jimmy Sika na me the Bible registered Germany because he asked me how old are you, and I said 27. He said, nah, that's too late, bro. Let me tell you the truth. You can't be a good boxer, bro. Yeah. I said, why not? He said, we start boxing at the age of 9, 10. Look at these kids. Obusa and crying. So more 10 years, 9 years. They said, you see, you can't do it. You're too old for this shit. Sorry.
So how did you feel when they told you that you were too old to start a boxing career? I said for you were just determined to do it. So I think them can cry out here.
And then one can last word none one can. Yeah, the all kind of cry meet here. And one can man say the more kind of cry. Man say the more can because now my imagine say I will do it. And one thing about me is if I want to do something or I want to achieve something, the only thing it can make me stop from your side as a friend or someone who try to get me down is, Charlie, you can't do it. When you can't pay, you can't do it now. And you any one can cry, I will do it. That is my thing. Me I did with it, you can't do it. You fail. Oh boy. I will show you say I can do it. I did not mean I do what yet. I distribute. What you say, but if you say, who say, and you school can many pay for, and then many pay. What you say, you know, and how smart you are and clever you are, you can be successful. You know. So, yes, I mean, my thing, me call and say, by one now, or so one just come. Then later on, me buy any papa friend or so. All right, I'll take the money. Then I start from there. And I started training as an amateur. Then yet, me job crying right hand and yet be Charlie na kakra kram dimusa. But starting also I was doing cleaning jobs like cleaning some churches, you know, changing beans, stuff. Or that was my job. I was doing it every day. Then later on, the amateur said, but now job we call it key job. I don't know. Say what can be a key job? But key job here. Ajuma said their fans I have no office. me too wo me key ni back on me the bema cleaner no. It was also bad no about being a juma, so he got one of my key from my office. What you said, I'm key job to do at any time be a depend be free office be so we have got a key job to be called Makoya was soon as well gentleman you big a cry there after the chairman that can be so my brewa.
Now we point training some side jobs so.
Yeah. Work I'm say that you need a night shift. Juma be na night shift. We gym no kwana inside the court, night shift. Me koba na papa to gym. Bro, I was like, I don't know. Honestly, we need the chasing me, but I can feel like say I want to be, I can be someone great. What you say, but it's like I'm chasing. I say, like you chasing the greatness. That is how I can say. That is saying much. Actually, I say, minna. What yes, even sometimes we walk around me call Juma instead some for bus and we walk around 9 miles. Me for bus, me kwana me backpack, me boxing boot, me club, boxing outfit, everything in the bag. Now me run this work. The more shower so na my shower na my start Juma. Go a share for no motion me so strong with you. Wonder. Because na me a kitchen porter, na me kuku near the idea. Through kitchen porter, no, I work so hard and I become a chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point now unya sa breakthrough? So Charlie now you got signed onto a record onto a label and you were billed for professional bout. When did that happen?
Me you call me kind of say you call a yibi boxing show be no share boxing show like how they call it I say boxers for in Akushia so matchmaker they try to match they obviously they have a boxing event coming so they're looking for boxers it's so much almost say yo spar this guy if you only cause not a matching fight or make fighting happen or show us no this guy is not good for you you're gonna fight this guy so no or make things down he dropped things down until there was a one guy it was like 30 kg different. I was like 81 and he was like 115 kg. Right? He was sitting there and this guy looked so upset. He looked like he's ready to fight. If you call him, catch him when the organizer and said, can I fight this guy? Well, catch him and said, no, this guy, bro, are you mad? Look at his size. He's a heavyweight. Why do you want to fight that guy? And obviously, I'm a light heavy. So there is a difference with the divisions, so they don't want guy to fight me because if you do that, you can get damaged because I'm fighting, for example, if I'm going to fight Anthony Joshua, obviously it's so wrong because of size different, right? So one fan mame, and was will be nam console in the barbecue, and I'm so right, cool. It will be my then I really handle the guy. I'll catch him and say, now use your one hand to spar the guy, right? So, and this time I was still doing the amateur, I was doing the amateur. Then, then the guy came up in the ring. He hit me and he pissed me off. I went inside and boom, I knocked him off. I will send you that video if you haven't seen the clip. When I knocked him out, and the way the combination, everything comes, strength and anger, aggressive, and everything, boom, I knocked him out, and then everyone film it, and people start to share it, and it's go viral, and it go everywhere. And the following week, guess who posted? 50 Cent.
Wow.
50 Cent posted the video, and everyone tagged me under the comment. He said, yo, this guy is freezing. That time I was my followers in Instagram. I was nobody. I was like 300 or 3,000. Then 50 years I'm now for follow post tagging me thing was said. Then I wake up and my followers went up. Boom! It go up like 15K. I was like, wow. Then I got an interview from Sky News. I was like, then they was like, why you actually British Mike Tyson? That is where I got that name.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it started, meet British Mike Tyson, meet British Mike Tyson. Then the name stuck, and everyone's talking about. Every up to date, when you go to Google, you type British Mike Tyson, you will see who will come first. And the honor, that moment, I know that, wow, now I know who I am, so I'm not going to sleep.
You know, I mean, Mike Tyson needs no introduction when it comes to boxing. So, for you, someone with the kind of story you have, how did it feel for you to be tagged the British Mike Tyson? You know what I was saying?
It feels great because he's the guy I look up to.
Okay.
I watch him. I watch his fight. I watch how he jab. I watch how he punch people. I watch his anger fight in the ring. I love it. I love it. And one of the things I love about him is his boxing skills, which is pickable. You know, put your hand up, move your head, come inside, and that. And I love that. And his height and my height, he's a bit higher than me. I'm 5'8", you know, and he was like, I think 5'10" or 11, something like that, you know. So it fits me, you know, and obviously, so I was like, yeah, I want to be, I want to learn his skills, you know. And it was cool, but no share me thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. My bad. No share me thing. Maybe a Jumano and my because I mean that because we will say, wow, I can see myself like in the future. Things are gonna get better.
But so when did you get signed onto a label, a promotion, and when did you get your first bout? How did it come about?
Yeah, me come amateurs now. My first amateur, I knocked the guy out 25 seconds, right? And then the next one, I lost. I keep losing. I lost 4 loss by points, you know. And one of me lost, and I got emotional because I worked so hard. I said, you enjoy something, you do something, but okona and kuyema. What you say? Like, oh, what? Then I changed gym. When I changed gym, I switched gym to another gym. Then that gym called Double Jab Boxing Gym. That up to date, that is the fastest knockout in that gym. That is 9 seconds. I can send you that video. And they gave me a certificate for that. I went there, boom. I was like, wow, and doctors look after him and that, you know. So that was so altogether, I think I have like 18 amateur fights. You know, and I become 2019, I'm sure 2017 or 19, I become a Haringey boxing gold medal. That is another competition. Or fighting for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got to win all. Ulusua, you're out. And I did that and I won all of it. You know, so all these things, you know, it built me up. And normally, it's not that you. Oh, sorry, yeah, now we will be able to and right now we didn't have no, there is a whole lot you got to go. But I like the type of interview you're doing because you try to dig and know who is this guy, where he has been, why he become who he is now, why his name is trending. People don't look at that way. Everyone thinking, oh, Freezy McBones, British Mike Tyson, now they even call Africa Mike Tyson, now Ghana Mike Tyson. I don't even know. Everyone can call me whatever they want. That's cool. But people don't know why you become that. What make you that? A lot of things pushing me. One, where I come from, my mom, obviously, I spreading my family side to you. Charlie, baby, if you what you say? So share me point.
No, because I saw a tweet someone saying that they could feel the hunger and the determination and the commitment in the punches you were throwing. I said, when you say Charlie, we name a Juma, we na I didn't do it. It would be a shame. So punching the pan, I said, everything goes in. You don't leave anything out.
Oh, no, I was straight.
Yeah.
Bibia, when the nominee me for an interview, but it was funny. He said, "Now, Tradiana, what you say? Now, I will be a member of the press. I think Kusia Bre. Now, what the Baba be see? I'll because of Minjao, I'll be you. What you say? So it's part of the process. So that one is there in terms of the, and also the honor na a normal chassis kakra bidini kosrono, and Buhuman reach out to me. Buhuman is a brand, is like a Nike. This is their outfit, and they look ɛhɔ Nyankopɔn bɛyɛ adom ama afei deɛ mentɔ if I need a clothing I say even if you look at my pictures, I didn't like the same brand. Boom. They are my sponsorship. It's after Nyankopɔn man is also then I think next kaka krabi si flow up and I'm in Kojuma beam go over Kuku beam. But when you say Ghana for me, one more.
Yeah.
It's in kitchen, no, not me kitchen. Honestly, I love kitchen because it's like a meditate. That it helped my mind to grow. Even that because of the kitchen, that's where now I got business going on. It called Freezy Snacks. So check your social media. We call it Freezy Food. It's like a plantain chips. And now I'm gonna do jollof rice as well. So the whole I love kitchen. I love being busy in the kitchen, like I told you. All this kind of idea. I have my own brand going on right now.
Okay. So it's latest about here, I mean, everyone is talking about. How did you get to that level, and what going into the fight? What was the mindset?
Yeah, before this fight, it's like almost like 4 years. On the street. When are you fighting? When are you fighting? The Instagram, when are you fighting? Because it's like people want to see me fight. People want to see what I got. People want to see what I have because they see me sparring like professional people, great people, but they don't have a chance to see me on the main big show. It's a normal delay. Then last November, I supposed to have my first professional fight on November, but I broke my hand and I got injury and it got canceled. Then last month, 10th of March, I got my first bout. Then I stopped the guy Woodley. His name is Woodley. Yeah, I think so. I stopped him in the second round, 10 seconds. I stopped him. So this one, 2 days, Tokoya Mikonya on 2 days. May your friend say, Mr. Campbell. Okay, I say. Now the man here, he said, this guy, he's very tough guy. He got 113 fights, and he lose more of it. Honestly, he lost a lot of his fight. But the thing about him is that he's one of the toughest guy in boxing in UK, which is journeyman and stuff like that. So he know more about the ring. He know how to take a punch. He know how to. So when in my mind, I just say, so Aquari, he know more about the ring than me because he started boxing. Let me remember what I say. And now I get the opportunity. So if you go in like you get jab, move your head, jab. Now this guy is gonna get away with it. So I'm not going there to pray with him. I'm going there to beat him like a thief.
The way you went all offensive, I think there have been a lot of praises for you as well. The others also feel that the way you fight is too amateurish and you still have some grooming to do. How do you feel about the criticism? Of course, the praises are loud. I mean, but there are others who also feel that you still have a long way to go before getting to the top. How do you feel about those things? So who's our comments in media?
If you do something and you don't have people to talk about it, that means you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You need people to talk about you. You need people to talk good, bad. It's all good. It's all come together. Like I said, I started boxing at the age of 27. And if you meet me at Grand,
sure.
So I assume I move them. Now I feel many opportunity fighting on the platform. So now I catch them say, oh, the way I fighting the won't come baby. And I the because me baby. No, I'm doing me, bro. I'm enjoying my boxing. I'm enjoying what I want. What you say? And one thing about I don't listen to what people say. I don't focus on that. I do me. When I came back, I watched the fight. I see things I need to do to make myself happy, not what the others saying. I always focus on myself. I always put myself first, and I always make sure I'm comfortable for what I'm doing.
Okay, but of course, Ghana, for instance, our history of, producing great boxers, the likes of Azuma, Joshua Kulete, those guys, they need no introduction when it comes to training boxing coaches. Are you going to reach out some of these people? Maybe Azuma, maybe Uber send you a video and say, oh, senior man what they share maybe my advice maybe and now for now there we know with team
No,
you're focused on.
sorry. No. Boxing is like politics. You don't see MPP goes on easy to get information or idea or help.
Yeah.
Right? I start where I am, me and my team, me and my coach. If it doesn't go well, we plan together what next, what we should do, what that, right? And we bring what we have learned to the public, and the public will see. So I don't need they all kind. I still have respect for them. They are goats. They are legend. They are up there. I have love for them, right? But everyone, I keep myself to myself. I do me. Yeah, so I just want the best for myself, and I have my team, and we keep growing. We're growing. Charlie, remember, I started boxing 27, bro. 27, brother. What you are saying? I got nothing to lose. Like I said in the interview, I got nothing to lose. Every step in my life right now is a blessing. I'm a winner.
Sure.
So, yeah, keep going, brother.
But what's the biggest objective for you? What do you want to achieve at the end of it all?
Biggest of what?
Your biggest objective in boxing.
I want to have a title. But this year at least I need to have like 6-5 for year or 5-5. So next year I can start having a title. What did the mission say?
Yeah.
Everything will come. I don't look at the big I look at the big picture. That's the dream. I don't look at big top like WBC, IBF. No, we start from here to go here, step by step, 1 to 2. You know, we don't jump from 1 to 4. What I say? So right now I stay focused. Now my real 2-5, 2 win. Woo, that's beautiful. Next one, manager when next month, freeze, you are out. Let's go. Give me the date. Okay, give me the event. There's give me the opponent. Let's go. I win it. Next one, go. That is my thing. I don't jump. I don't look at so far like that. You know what I'm saying? Step by step, you build yourself up, and everything will come. Everything.
Your story is like a big inspiration. I mean, what would you say to people from similar backgrounds like you? And then what should they take from your story?
Yeah, what I would say is like, never give up in life. Never say, so what I say, and that time you can't even get close to him, because I've seen a lot of people, they treat people like a shit, like nothing. They don't respect them, you know. And right now, for example, myself, I'll give myself an example. I know a few people, they put me wrong, they don't respect, they don't do nothing. In terms of humanity, they don't respect what you are saying, because so they look down to you. But now I've become someone, just a few times, people start to be nice to you, you know. That is the big thing people need to learn. Always respect people and treat people according to you, how you want you to be treated. You feel me? That's the thing. And then another one, don't let your position you live in now judge you like you're not going to make it, or you can't be somebody great. No, it's possible. And don't let anyone decide your life to you. Your life is in your hand. Your life is like a movie. You are director, you are actor, you are this, you are cameraman, you are this. You need to control everything, right? Don't let anyone tell you because you're too old, so you can't do this, you can't do this. No, it's possible, brother. You can do it. You can do it. Me, like a phrase coming from somewhere, nowhere, no hope, bro. If you are crazy, so crazy, be declared so anointing. Now, this is my name, sisters, me call for this, and that form say, yes, sir, yeah, swap. Aside the buffet, the copper bunch be the business so the china go home. What you say?
Yeah.
Me, and all this saying, I don't want to talk about it because me can't. It's a memory, like it's a picture. What you and I am emotional. What you say? Because now me time free ho abaha nene. Charlie, and then sorry, cry me team did cry because Joy FM, TV, Kesben, TV today, here. Now I'm like, it's crazy. It's like a dream. You know, it's possible. Whatever you go in there, whatever you thinking, go for it. Because sometimes so much there will be a challenge. No, and can't show you. Just do your job. Do your thing. Be you. You know, but the most important thing is that be faithful to yourself and be true to yourself. Ebi asama nyame ho se kurasini na me na mo ebi kura wuni me obeka say wa call story ben or just boxer. Be true to yourself. Chale ye na ya bre, but everyone got story. Oh, any dependent on do baby on person you say chrome for that be dear January now I am bro. No Charlie. We crossing you know what you are saying yeah baby you didn't know so at training was also those said it.
I mean, thank you very much for sharing your touching, emotional, and your great story with GhanaWeb. All the best to you and your career, and I hope to see you at the very top. Thank you very much for speaking to GhanaWeb. All right, so this is GhanaWeb, this is Sports Check, and I'll be speaking to Frizzy Mark Bones. We'll come here with another edition.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting edition of BizTech on GhanaWeb TV with me, Mauli Aholemega. On this week's episode, we'll talk about identity theft within the context of SIM swap fraud. My guest is Eric Mensah, and he's the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the E-Crime Bureau. Eric, welcome to BizTech. How are you?
Thank you very much, Molly.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How are things going on at the Bureau?
Oh, yes, we are doing very well. In fact, we are seeing some increase in awareness in terms of security awareness, and we are very excited. There are a lot of developments that are going on in the ecosystem from the regulatory side to the private sector and the rest, and we are very excited. We hope that cyber hygiene would go further. Institutions would actually embrace the new era of cyber security and securing their systems. And also thanks for inviting us to speak on such an important subject matter.
Eric, thank you too also for welcoming us here. So we want to delve straight into the topic for today, which is identity theft. I see we are beginning to see a rise of these incidents. What exactly is identity theft for those who don't have any idea?
Basically, identity theft, as the name denotes, it's a fraud that someone picks your personal information and then uses it for some fraudulent activity or any illegal activity. So that is identity theft for you. And like I have explained, the criminal will now use your information to do fraudulent stuffs, like creating a new account. It can also even go to the extent of stealing business information to create fake business accounts. So that's identity theft. It can be both online or even physical. Yeah.
So just from your point of view, why are we seeing these incidents on the rise? Is that as a result of a lot of more people are using mobile phones and a lot more people are having access to the internet? What contributes to this identity theft?
Identity theft has been on the rise because, of course, people are not aware of the risks that they face, especially online. The mobile phone penetration has gone very high, and it means also that the criminals will also try to deploy schemes that will target online systems. And of course, because security consciousness is very low, people fall prey to identity theft. And I know that we might be discussing some of the modus operandi and the rest, so I'll just pause here and then we move forward.
Yeah, speaking of pause, we'll just go straight into it. How does one know that the identity has been stolen, and how does this entire identity theft process go for, especially on the criminal end and also the receiver as well?
There are several modus operandi that the criminals use to commit identity theft. First off is something we call phishing. So basically, the criminal try to use either emails or other social media channels to get you to divulge some personal information about yourself to them. And there have been a couple of instances where people's identity had been stolen through the phishing scheme, and at the end of the day it ends up the criminals using their accounts to fraudulently acquire some worth or funds from their clients. Aside the phishing, criminals also engage with insiders. When I say insider, it means that people that have access to personal information about people. Okay, so they engage with them and they procure some of this identity theft identities from them. There is also something we talk about, that is data breaches. It has come up a lot, and you see big social media organizations falling prey to data breaches. So, of course, criminals are able to get personal information from that angle, and they'll use that to fraudulently defraud people. So those are some of the angles. Even sometimes we have seen that there are instances where physically criminals steal identity documents of people, and they use that to
physically. You mean like when they steal your phone or something?
So they can steal your phone. They can even steal your ID cards.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's say your Ghana card or whatever card that you use, they steal it. Of course, it has your name and IDs numbers on them. So they steal them and they use that to commit fraud.
That's very interesting, Eric. But I want to understand, when I was doing my research, I saw something about SIM swap fraud. Is it in correlation to identity theft, or it's just a certain model of identity theft? If you can give us an explanation on that.
SIM swap basically is a criminal going to a telco or using other means to, take your phone number from you. So they go to the telco, typically one modus operandi that we've seen, they pre-test and act as if they are you and tell them to swap your number from that particular SIM card to another SIM card. So they do that mainly because, right now there is that rise in the use of mobile financial services and the rest. So if they are able to do the SIM swap, they are able to use those numbers to receive OTPs, two-factor authentication codes and the rest, to be able to proceed with their fraud. Okay, so that is what SIM swap is. Now, how does this come into play when it comes to identity theft? It's a chicken and egg kind of situation. Some criminals can use identity theft to swap SIM.
Wow.
So that means that they impersonate you and go to the telco. They pretend they are you with your information, and they use that information to swap your SIM. The other angle is they can also go to the telco, speak to them, swap your SIM, and then with your SIM number in their hands, they can do the identity theft. They can impersonate you, take money from your accounts and the rest.
That's a very sinister move. Yeah, but Eric, I've been learning quite a lot from you. I'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. I've been speaking with Eric Mensah, and he's the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the E-Crime Bureau. We've been talking about identity theft and how to combat the menace. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back from that break on BizTech. I've been speaking with Eric Mensah, and he's a lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the E-Crime Bureau. Eric, I've been having a very interesting conversation with you about identity. I've been learning quite a lot, but one thing that strikes my mind is I've been seeing people, mobile money numbers being hacked, where they will receive a message from somebody saying, join us on this mobile money number and all of that. Is this in the context of identity theft?
Very well. Of course, it's in a context. The reason being that these criminals are now trying to mimic the telecommunication organizations. So they will typically send you a message, and you realize that the user ID of the message tries to mimic a name of a telco. And when you look at it critically, you realize that no, it is not the exact name. There are some letters that have been added to it. So it falls squarely within the context of identity theft. Okay, and what we advise is that when it comes to some of these messages, when people receive them, they should be cautious, because of course, I don't want to mention the name of any telco here, but when you get messages from such people, you can even look at the grammar of those messages, and you know that no, this is not from the telco. So they should be cautious.
Now, Eric, let's come to the economy. What is the danger of this specific type of fraud, and what are the potential impacts on the economy?
One of the very direct impacts is financial loss. Of course, when there is identity theft, finances oftentimes, per our analysis, is involved. Let me give you a typical trend that we have seen at E-Crime. That's WhatsApp account takeover. Now, what we have realized is that criminals then take over people's WhatsApp account, and I mean sometimes these people have good reputation, and when they take over their WhatsApp accounts, they now share into groups that they belong into. That, oh, I'm doing some investment, and send some money to me, and your money will double, your money will triple, and all that. And when they do that, per our analysis and some reports that we have received, there are lots of people that have lost huge sums of money to that, because they believe that the person who is sending them that information is the genuine person that they know. Unknowing to them, it's the person's WhatsApp account that has been compromised, and the criminal now sending messages in the name of that person. So that is a very direct impact that we have seen, financial loss. Another angle is emotional and psychological distress. Of course, it's very demoralizing if you see that your identity has been used for an illegal activity, and this is something that we would have to take note of as citizens. It's really, really critical. Another key thing that I want to talk about is about the pressure on the economy. When I say pressure on the economy, yes, it sounds very huge. But you see, recently in Ghana, there are things that are happening around identity theft. And the regulators, the telcos, and the powers or stakeholders that be are now, they will have to now spend a lot of money to put in structures and systems to be able to manage the situation. So it's also an impact. It's a danger that we have seen. Another key thing I would like to add is the loss of trust and confidence in online and financial systems. Of course, if things like this are happening, the general populace will lose trust in online systems, because they know that somebody can quickly and smartly steal their identities and use that for an illegal activity.
Eric, I've been learning quite a lot from you, but finally, are there some tools out there that people can use to curb or fight identity theft? And what advice would you give to especially young people, mobile phones, or any other age group?
I would take this from two angles. First, from the business angle, then I talk about the people, the social people in there. So first off, for the business angle, they would have to be very cautious on their online portals. There have been instances where you go to social media and you see a shop online and try to purchase something from that shop. You get to realize that no, it's a fraudulent shop. And what I'm talking about is not like a criminal has set up his or her own name for the shop. Reputable organization. What they have done is that they try to use names of reputable organizations to create other accounts on social media.
So basically, there's somebody on the back end picking up the information.
Not necessarily the back end.
Okay.
I just see, let's say, ABC Enterprise, and it's very, very reputable. I go to IG, I go and create an account, abc.enterprise.
So
something very small, and I use that to commit fraud. So businesses would have to be very cautious. They should have that monitoring mechanism on social media platforms and other online platforms. Now, for us watching individuals, first off, to protect your identity, you have to make sure you share minimal information about yourself online.
That's your personal information.
Personal information about yourself online. Sometimes you see people post any and everything about themselves, including snapshots of their IDs to prove a point to people. It's very, very dangerous. Passports and the rest. So it's very important that you keep it safe in there. Also, we advise that you have strong and complex passwords for your accounts, because I did mention about the phishing attacks and the rest. Yes, we have to create strong passwords, and even in addition to the passwords, there's something we call the two-factor authentication or the multi-factor authentication, where when you set your system up, you get a notification or you get an alert of a code of a source for you to insert. Yes, good. Before they're able to access your account. When you do that, criminals, even after stealing your passwords and the rest, can't be able to access your account because there's another layer of security. And then also, let's be mindful and set our privacy properly on social media platforms. So, you know, on social media platforms, there are privacy settings. It's very important you go in there, try to limit the amount of information that is publicly available. Unless, of course, somebody is your friend, they can't see certain information. So that is very, very, very critical. And always be vigilant. Do not click on links that, you know, you are not expecting. Suspicious links. You are in WhatsApp groups and they share links. Oh, click here and you win ABC and you get this. You go to America, you get free data and the rest. Please, let's be cautious. Let's avoid clicking on such links.
Eric, thank you so much. I've learned quite a lot from you in this episode. I'll be speaking with Eric Mensah from the E-Crime Bureau, and he's the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at the Bureau. He's been my guest on this week's edition where we've been talking about identity theft and how to combat the menace. Before we go, don't forget to log on to our website, www.GhanaWeb.com, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the GhanaWeb. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Marley Aholimega. Please do stay for this headlines.
Anytime we're on stage with Slim Buster, we're like my brother will take the CD to the DJ to make that, like, to do the selection for the performance. So he will put our song at the end of Slim Buster's performance, which Slim Buster is not aware. So after we finish backing him, he leave the stage for us to do the last dance. So after he leave the stage,
they play
then they will put our song.
You're welcome to another edition of Talkatainment here on GhanaWeb TV. I am Paula Amabroni. Today I have some very important dignitaries here when it comes to the music industry. They've got all the experience, they've seen it all, and today we're going to go 360. Life, career, everything. So do stick and stay. It's Talkatainment on GhanaWeb TV. You're welcome back. It's Talkatainment on GhanaWeb TV with me, Paula Amabroni. Today, I've been joined by FBS, Ghanaian Music Group. They've been there since Oluman Buge days, Kill Somebody, featuring Girl. You have one with Apietus, I forgot the title.
Buy one, get one.
You pay as you go, as heads upon heads, and even now you have a new one with Mr. Jujo, which is a big one, and I know you have an EP too. You made mention in our last interview. Great. But FBM Music, with those who have been following you, then times you used to be a 3-member group. Someone will say, where's your 3rd member?
You know how it is when you're growing, when the going gets tough. That's the English, right? You know, we leave Ghana to stay in the UK for some time, and we got married. People, like, things start changing. He got married to somebody who doesn't have Ghanaian culture, so she's like, you know, you don't have to come. So we have to be coming down. And you know, with music, your presence is really needed. You get it. So going to studio, you are not there. So for about 10 to 12 years now, that we've been doing solo stuff. So automatically, they become the two of us. But we are so cool. We talk every day. We are cool.
So absolutely no bad blood.
No.
Great.
No beef. Nothing.
As we're talking now, it's in London.
It's in London. Yeah, it's okay.
Great. So live having to go on a break for some time. Did you regret, or it was just a decision you had to take a break to focus on family?
FBS never had a break. You see, one thing about music is we don't, as a musician, you need to know your target audience. At a particular time, you might sing a song that might be hitting here, and maybe for some period of time, then it's changed to another country. If you're an artist that you are really, really observant, like you move, you will know how to, because that is your job. You understand? When we stop doing music for Ghana, we're doing music for our local people, for our language, because we've been traveling from all the local areas, from the northern part of Togo to all those places, to Ivory Coast, to Liberia, and all those places, still doing music. But it's just like we've not released a major song for Ghana. You understand? But we've been doing songs. We've had a lot of songs going on, and it's been amazing for all those time. You understand? So FBS have not gone to break, but it's like just diverted the attention to another crowd.
So according to Najo, you did not take a long break. It was just that you're not doing music for Ghanaian audience.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So the music, away from music, you spend some of your time abroad. Coming back to Ghana, everybody say, oh, the system and all that. How did you settle in?
You see, when we came back to Ghana, we realized one thing. We realized things have changed, but certain things we started way back, it's still there. It's like we see ahead of time.
Okay.
When we say see ahead of time, like this TikTok dance that is raining now, in our years, we started those things. We bring music with dance, and then we make sure every music that we do, it has its own movement. So we get it so easy on that side, because already it's like we know the system or the global world.
That has been our trend.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we didn't get it so difficult too much on our side. Do you understand me? Like with a Mr. Drew like this, when we release, it just go viral like that, because already it's something that we're already doing. You understand me? So, and we are even happy. Likes of Mr. Drew Dems and those guys are following the trend and stuff. So we jumping in, I didn't see it so
it's anything new.
No.
Okay, great. So now I know you brothers. One would say, how did you come together? Did you come together because of the dance, or you came together originally to do music?
We started from dancing. If you know so much, if you know the history of FBS, we've been from National Dance Factory, National Dance Ensembles, from backing of musicians to back Slim Buster. We back a couple of musicians, and from there then we jump into music. So we started from dancing, from Embassy Pleasure Double Do to name it.
We've been everywhere.
You know the Embassy Pleasure Double Do,
you know
right?
what is called Embassy Pleasure?
Then I was younger, so maybe
Oh, she
not.
don't have
Maybe are the new G's.
It's a national dance competition for Ghana.
Yeah, for Ghana.
Oh, okay.
That time, sorry to say that there's a embassy called
there's a cigar company that sponsored
called Embassy.
Oh, great.
So they were the sponsors for the program.
Sponsors for the dance and this thing. Yes. So we've been a dance champions for ages, and we do a lot of adverts, like Tampico adverts, Fangigo adverts.
I think I remember an ad be like that.
Yes, those years. Great.
Great.
Sorry to do adverts for them.
No, but
we were part of the video.
Great.
Some of the part of the TC, you see us in the mask and stuff.
Alright, so you've made a name for yourself in music and in dance.
We started in dance. We started breaking barriers in dance. We travel a lot before we just switch in. We have the music in our blood already, so
it was not a big deal.
To switch is so easy.
So when you speak to artists who've been there, as we love to call them, the OGs, they talk about back in their days it was difficult. Music was not just how it has become so modernized in our time. Even though you have to book a studio, wait hours, days before it gets to your turn, recording. When you are done with the whole thing, you have to even market and get the music to the audience. Can you walk us through how was it like starting on the onset of your career?
Okay, our career has been tremendous. It has been superb, because there is two things about life. You see, when the business you are doing, if it's difficult, you don't see the difficult part of it, because FBS, we love dancing already. We used to dance for free, for fun, because I feel like if I don't dance for a day, it's like I've lost something. And then so when we started doing music, and we feel like it's not even difficult because the dance we put in when we were dancers and the dance we put in when we were singing it was limited. And when it comes to studio section, I did not see any stress going to the studio because we were privileged. Our first song was recorded in the studio of Slim Buster.
Okay.
You understand? Slim Buster was out with his friends, and then his engineer was there. It's called Uncle Otu, or what's his name? Uncle Otu was like something. He was an old man who was Slim Buster's engineer. So we were like, Uncle Otu, do you know that we can sing? He said, oh, I'm going to say, we've even written some songs. He said, and then we an old man now. So Slim Buster was not aware, so we started doing something. So he was like, okay, he played this beat. We have to sing what we want with our mouth, and he was like, okay, this is a good thing, so let me play. So he played the beat. After that, we sang the first Old Man Boogie. It wasn't the one you are hearing now. There's the one that we did the demo part of it. You understand? It was nice. So when he did it, we did the voicing and everything. He was not being able to mix it because Slim Buster came, so we have to stop it. After 3 days, we asked him, Charlie, just give us a copy like that. It was like, the woman train, I'm in your time, now I'm mix it, and you know, give it to us. So what we did is, when he gave us that song, anytime we are on stage with Slim Buster, like my brother will take the CD to the DJ to make that, like to do the selection for the performance. So he will put our song at the end of Slim Buster's performance, which Slim Buster is not aware. So after we finish backing him, he leave the stage for us to do the last dance. So after he leave the stage, then they will put our song. He being in his dressing room listening to it, he didn't know it's our song. And they will dance with it, and the crowd love it. So we were unlucky, we were at Takoradi or somewhere. He didn't go to his dressing room, he was like around his car, and then they put the song, and then the crowd was like, boom. So when we were coming out of the stage, the crowd followed us to him. And you know what they told him? They were like, yo, Slim Buster, you better power your pan, no. Not concentrating on Kwalawe, because you know almost at the end, no, a very your future, Obeneska.
Wow.
Some man just prophesied to him straight. And not knowing that thing he didn't feel okay because imagine we are his pillar at that time. We are the one that making him Slim Buster, and so you're telling him to retire and concentrate on us. That was like a big blow. So he was like, so
when did you guys do this?
He didn't ask us that day. He didn't even talk to us.
Oh.
We were like, we are dead. We see him like our father. See, we as Slim Buster, we clicked so much. He was watching us. He didn't give us food. We were like, hey, it's bad. So we just still have to, mingle with it. So for some time, we realized that the communication is that the relationship is no longer that strong. So we have to leave and then start doing our thing because he wasn't concentrating any longer because he realized we betrayed him.
But would you call that a betrayal? You took an opportunity as you were narrating the story.
You see, as an artist, if like right now, I'm in Slim Buster's shoes, and I have a dancers like us, and then we are going for the goal, like you understand, and all of a sudden we are backing up. Charlie, it's a big blow for him.
I get it.
Because me and my brother, we are very loyal. When we are with you, when we're with Slim Buster, we're not backing any other musician. Unlike the rest that come to join, they can go and do their own thing. But if you see us, you see Slim Buster. So he's proud. The whole thing becomes like a brand, the three of us. You get it? And then my brother does the TikTok thing because Slim Buster has featured TikTok on couple of his songs. So if TikTok is not there, my brother will do the rapid sleep, that kind of thing. So the vibe was there. You get it? So he was so comfortable with it, and all of a sudden, we feel like we can do more than dancing, and so that's what's really bring the breakup between we and Slim Buster. And after that, it was so good. And then Bulare started giving us programs. They were calling us Talibans. When we go to show, we used to tie our hair with some white scarves. So from one place to another, and things start getting better. And Bulari was like, "Yo, guys, this your man Boogie is really getting famous now, and people are loving it. But it's demo. So why don't you go see JQ? That time JQ2 is getting the vibe. So it's like, why don't you go see JQ? We said, like, Charlie, we don't even have the money.
Charlie.
They said, go tell JQ that I'll pay. Record, I'll pay. When we got to JQ2, we don't know how to record. Like, it's a long story, see that. If I have to tell you all that.
We'll save it,
but it was good. JQ recorded us, and
it became the hit.
It became the hit. That's
Great.
it.
So in December last year, the big shows, you rocked there. I met you at Beam concert. We had a very good interview. The dance was on point. I'm like, hey, this is where did they get the energy from? And you don't miss a beat. Like the formation, you turn. It was such a pleasure to watch you. In 2022, you released one of the hit songs, Joe, which featured Mr. Drew. One would say, why feature Mr. Drew? Do you see yourself in him? Because he also sings and dances. Like, how did you settle on that, and how did the collaboration come?
You see, Mr. Drew has been good. Like, Mr. Drew is good. Like, you understand, Ghanaians know. But we did not, like, discover him earlier. Like, this thing could have happened long ago, but we did not discover Mr. Drew earlier because we know, like, we are not familiar with the industry any longer because we've been traveling in and out and stuff. But the first time I saw him, my brother wasn't there. I was the one that saw him at a lunch. He was performing. I was like, yo,
this guy,
like, yo, Ghana. So Ghana have started this. Then that means Ghanaians still love that because I love everything about him. So I was like, yo, I called my brother there and I was like, yo, I've met that guy. So which I said, this guy is good. We need to work with this guy. We are about to retire, but with this guy, we have to do something. So I asked him, I said, yo, find his number, because he is fan of that. When I say find his number, he's going to find, I say, find his number, call him, let him know we want to do something. So about a week, he found his number, he called him, he was like, yo, is it Mr. Drew? He said, yes, this is FBS. He said, who? FBS. Are you sure? He asked, he said, are you sure?
I could know how they feel because he also danced looking at you.
He's not even believing. Yeah, what?
Are you sure?
Then I hear him telling somebody, FBS is talking to me. Then I think somebody said, oh, he's lying.
He's lying.
Then I say, it's FBS. It's like, if it's FBS, let's meet her.
They say, then come.
Then come, let me see you. I want to see you.
Then we say, okay, send us your location.
He sent location, we see him.
Then. So then he agreed to the collaboration. And
when we went to his place, not knowing, he also have an agenda for FBS. That he wished he could have met FBS.
Yeah.
Because I think he had a conversation with VGMA, because they said the last year's show, he murdered it. And people are like, okay, you've done whatever you want to do. People have seen it. So this year you're on it. What else will you do? So if they say, but if you want to do something, then you have to do something bigger than what FBS have done.
18 years ago.
So this is what FBS did 18 years ago.
No, let her know. We are holding the record on VGMA.
Like,
18 years ago, nobody have win
that show. Like we came with the chair and the umbrella at the same time. We performing.
Are you getting it?
8 years ago, I was younger, so
so on VGMA record, nobody have performed open act what we did before. For 18 years, the crown is on us. We are holding the title.
So they were like, okay, watch this and then do like
that.
Or team up with them and do the same thing. And I was like, that would be a good thing if I team up with them. That would be a very good thing. So we came and said, like, yo, you want to work with me, fine, but let's put the work aside.
And focus on the
VGMA. So what is it? I'm going to VGMA and I want to go with you.
Wow.
I said, really? Go just on what basis? Because before we were thinking, maybe we're going to dance with him on his song. He said, no, I'm doing your music on VGM. He was like, yo, really? He said, but it's going to be a surprise, just we and you. I didn't let VGM know I've gotten you. So I just took the idea, but I didn't give them the assurance I'm doing it.
Wow.
You understand? So we surprised them.
And that was it.
That was it. So and then we told him, we said, like, listen, this is going to be big. Because honestly, Ghana didn't really have enough of us. So it's going to be, say, yes, he knows it's going to be big. It's okay, let's do it.
Right. I'm really interested in that story. But then we'll take a quick break. When we come back, the conversation with FBS continues. welcome back. You're still watching Talkatainment on GhanaWeb TV. I've been doing this with FBS, the music group. They dance, they sing, they do everything. You should see their performances if you have the opportunity to ever see them on stage. It's fireworks. They don't. I don't want to talk much, but let's continue the conversation. Before we went on that break, we were talking about your collaboration with Mr. Drew. Currently in the music space, which other young arts would you love to work with?
That's a big question. Honestly, we would love to work with everybody. You see, there is something about FBS that up till now, for me, I'm not really comfortable. You see, because of the dance, it has covered our talent for music. Because people don't really pay attention and know what FBS can do musically. You get what I'm saying? All they concentrate is on the dance. You understand? But they've forgotten that the dance comes with the music. You get it? But I think it's our time for Ghanaians to know that, okay, FBS can really sing. So when it comes to featuring somebody right now, you see, some of the artists feel like, oh, FBS, yeah, if it's not dancing music, I cannot feature. You understand?
Yes.
So people are feeling they can't work with us because they can't dance.
It has to be a danceable song.
No, but when you listen to our EP, it's only one danceable song in it. And trust me, we're good. We're very, very good. Me listening to the industry we are in now in Ghana, FBS is really, really good when it comes to music.
They don't know. They don't know
yes,
that we
because
can write. They are not
so
aware.
you write all your songs?
Yeah, they don't know we are very good writers.
Great.
They don't know that.
We have never gone to the studio and recorded song, and let's say a song and then go. We are just there, you play the beat and we finish it.
That's it.
That's how Joe was recorded. Instantly. The beat, the song, everything, instantly. Like, that's it. We don't go home and come back and say, oh, give me the beat, let me go listen. No.
Is the raw talent and how the crowd receives you. As I stated earlier, if you have the opportunity to see you perform, everybody jamming to it, from your songs even to the new ones that you have right now. I listened to an interview, a 2022 interview we had with Larry, and you made mention that back in the day, P Square came, you know, asking that they wanted to be like you. Can you throw more light on that story?
That controversial interview.
Yeah, that controversial interview with Larry.
I made that. It started on one of TV station like that, and then Larry too took it, and they're talking, and some of our fans or some of the Nigerians are not taking it lightly. So I choose not to be answering that question because some people who are not there, they will not believe you. They will not believe. And you hear them coming hard on you, thinking you are undermining or you are rating. So we choose not to answer because there's a more to it than what I say. There's more. And
but you don't want to give us some gist.
When in our biography, in our record, we have performed with a big art. Casey and Jojo, we performed with Casey and Jojo in London. We performed in Wembley before. Those times there's no social media. We were there. We have done a lot. We are ambassador for peace, this Liberia, this we work with UN, these things. So if I talk about P Square used to, or they ask, and people are going gaga crazy. So I choose not to answer because, and I learned one guy said they talk to P Square, they say they don't remember, they remember VIP.
Yeah,
and then it's okay, yeah, because
maybe in his narrative might
but it was true. It was true.
They might remember
because at the time Alumambuge was hitting. VIP was representing FBS in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. So, you know how social media they can twist things and all
and
that.
as I'm saying, in record, as we are talking about success, in record, we don't have bad blood with anybody. We have our journey, 22 years in this journey, very nice, sweet. We don't want to do this social media thing like, who are you guys to say P Square, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Now talk about bees. Some people say that it's good for the industry. Currently, some people can stage, oh, let's plan it. Let's just say we are fighting because maybe you have a project and all that. Do you think that beef is good for the industry?
For some people who are ready to eat beef. for us, for us, yeah. For us, listen, our legacy, we want to end it well. You understand me? We want to end it well with good notice. we will know. Just take your beef somewhere else.
Now you look very young.
Yeah.
Earlier when we started this conversation, we were talking about the fact that when I was younger, I used to listen to you. But you're going to tell me that, oh, you're still young.
We were all younger by that time.
Najo, please. Olumambuge came not now.
Yeah.
You made mention that VGMA 18 years or 19 years ago.
Yeah.
What is your secret to looking good, young and all that? Apart from you defending that you are still young, which you are though, but then what do you do to look young and radiant?
You see, I realize one thing about life. The more you stress, the more you grow old.
Yeah.
Okay.
The more you consume yourself with unnecessary things. What is unnecessary? You feel like, oh, I'm not hitting, my song is not on time. You have to be on top of this. We can be in Ghana, VGMA, you won't see us there. You will
not see us anywhere.
We can go clubbing, yeah, and we see the artists, they're doing their celebrity lifestyle. We'll just be here. You won't even know FBSs. They're like, we had that free mind. You understand? We have that free mentality because I feel like if I have done it before, I owned this before, and you are having it today. It's just the time difference, but it does not really matter. I have it today, and you will have it tomorrow, and that's it. You understand? And we feel those are the secret of life. Like, just love yourself.
Yes.
Love the time you are in it. The little you have, manage it.
Don't let that life, celebrity life, you know.
I will tell you, we are very successful financially, but we have never posted anything that we owe.
Sorry to say, if I want to talk to a girl, I don't even want her to know I'm
FBS.
Oh, that's your secret. Let's pretend I don't know you are FBS.
I don't fancy that thing.
Having to use.
If I come to club FBS in down.
You'll have to keep it on the low.
Could you believe till the Joe song came, one of my tenants didn't know I'm FBS.
Me up to now, my area.
One of my tenants, I think about a week ago, he was like, boss. I said, like, yeah, what is it? He said, please, my sister says she wants to come and snap a picture with you. I said, you are in this house for over 3 years now. Now you want to snap picture. Because I didn't know you are there. I was like,
okay.
So you see the way the whole thing is. That is life.
We don't,
you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like this beefing, this social
unnecessary stress,
you know,
drugs. You see, all these things lead you to drugs.
Exactly.
Because when your brain is too hot, you need something to cool it off.
Yeah, you want to do
so you are stressed, you take in drug, it cools you. You get stressed again, you take it. Then before you see, you're a drug addict.
Yeah, addicted to it.
And then, bro, you see yourself.
We've heard how drugs have destroyed a lot of celebrities and all that.
Drugs, stay away. Drugs, some is positive for them, but the time it becomes negative is when stress gets involved.
Then you have to be always on it.
Drugs are very, very addictive. When they only want to get you at your weak time. At your happy time, you might think drugs is everything, but when you are weak, or when your career starts going down financially or mentally or marital, like if you have an issue, then the drug will get you. You understand? And it will destroy you.
Thank you for that advice. I know the young folks who are going to chance on this interview will really appreciate it. Now here in Ghana, we've had some people, I would call them legendary entertainers, say, oh, here in Ghana, they don't really appreciate their legends until maybe, excuse me to say, when you are late, that's, oh, let's celebrate you. What would you say about that? Do you think that there's more that can be done, or Ghanaians, the thing that we say that we don't celebrate our own is false?
It goes in the two ways. Always I say this, when you don't make room for something, then there's no room for it.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? We have not created an industry for the old songs, for the past songs. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because even the new songs, the industry we create for the new songs is even limited. Trust me, we have named them the legends. Have you ever had a program that every year we line up old artists to come and perform? So if there's no performance going on, how do their legacy becomes relevant? You see, you have a lot of things in your head. Presenters have, you are doing your show for people to watch you, right? You want a current vibe. You want something that will sell you. So if you don't mention any old artist's name on your program, it's not your fault. But if an old artist went to perform at a particular event and he made a mark, you would talk about it. Do you get what I'm saying?
So we should get a platform
there
where
should
we'll
be
line
an
up
industry
and then...
for the old arts. There should be something that is
Some
going on.
awards have to go in, not that
something
you
has
do
to
and
go
stop.
on.
Somebody will take the idea and he will stop it
And
somewhere.
no, it has to be
some will take
continuation.
an idea and it will be selfish, not to call in somebody.
No.
No, we have to be a national something.
It
Like,
has to-
listen, yearly, this
there's a
award,
program.
this is it. It goes on, and we can remember you for doing this for Ghana. Ghana say thank you for this. When you do this, you know,
Then
but
it's
they are
because
waiting
relevant.
for you after maybe they have hit 10 years. Stoneboy have hit 10 years. Then the young chap will come. Then you compare him to Stoneboy. That's what Ghanaians are
Comparison,
doing.
yes.
So if
See,
you are
there
doing
are
that,
lots
so
of that.
the legacy is gone. Do you understand me? I watch one person is saying, "Oh, right now the Black Sheriff is more than all the." Then they are making big arts like Stoneboy, like
Can you
Shatta Wale.
imagine? And even
So all
I
this-
saw Blacko come
which
out
is-
to say he doesn't like that comparison
so
because
this thing-
sometimes
so-
the people that
Yeah.
are doing compared, they are not into that. But
You
then
see-
social media folks, for whatever
So-
reason. But then before we wrap up, I know you have new things, the EP and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just talk about currently what you are up to in 2023, the plans.
Yeah, we have put on our EP. I will not say yes. Let's say release in some way. It's on social or the digital platform. It's a five tracks in there, and we want Ghanaians to just pay attention to that EP a lot, and people who are looking for content, who want to write, who want to bash, who want to say anything about FBS, should go through the EP. The EP talks about now. Talk about
The
who
current
FBS are. FBS music, we are blessed with a lot of talent, which the dance is taking over it because we are very vibrant.
Yeah.
So when you have this opportunity, you don't talk about how do you write? How do you compose? You're good. Because of the dance, you don't talk about it. So we want all Ghanaians, all the listeners or the people who are watching us now to just go on digital platform and type FBS Takeover. That's the title of this thing.
EP.
And the rest, you can write it. Anything you want to write about it. If you want to insult us, if you are not good, you just tell us. So 2023, we give you a challenge. Just go there and
Great.
Yeah.
Nadia and Dee, it was a pleasure having you
Yes.
talk about music and relive all the good times.
Something.
Any final words before we wrap up?
Okay, I would say keep it calm. Love yourself more. Say less. You know, talking too much make you irrelevant because you end up saying nonsense. And then focus. Whatever it is you want to do, just stay by it. Focus towards it. Pray over it, and you succeed. And to our fans, Yanzango, to Munanguao.
Great. Dee?
I'll just my last word is to the youth, every youth is a hero. Every youth, wherever you find yourself, just say to yourself, you are a hero. If I tell you how we started, you will not say, listen, me in go school that. My school is just some class 1, class 2. I don't remember how many classes I sit in my life.
Yeah.
But trust me, I'm doing a lot in my life. So I'm just trying to send this message to the Zongo youth or all the youth in Ghana that, listen, keep it tight. I know it's not easy, you know. You might be on high something, but still now tell yourself you can make it. Do you understand me? You can make it, you can see through. And look within you, inside you, you will find your talent, you find what you can do the best.
Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
FBF Music. So bad that I couldn't, get to dance with because and all that. But I wish maybe we could play. You could play.
Yeah.
Can I play any of your songs? Which song do you love? So that we just wrap up with it. Joe.
Joe or Hala.
Hala.
Joe Hala, we take over.
Hala.
I swear that.
Hala is on a boom play. Go on, play.
Hala and take all of
Apple. Okay, then let's do Joe because let me just do Joe. Okay.
I miss you, my baby.
Can we get some of the dance moves?
Baby, make I please. Baby, I want my knees. Oh, I can feel your pain. Let me take it away. On top your cake.
and make her look your face. If it's you that I want, baby, move to the dance floor, baby, just, move your body, just, move your body, up for love. Baby, just,
Move your body, girl. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, FBS.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Now,
Obek kanokre. Susu san kwai bia wanto nam bia e man in kwai bebre.
Mommy, you fish can see about Kotoso. Pepoga, send me sick from Lemonade Finance. While Brian did the shit and let me £2.
Lemonade Finance.
Say they're sending money back home from UK, Canada, and now US. I accepted a instant charges. Extinguishing in Suya. Unbeatable. We should make promo code Dr. Like £10, $10, and $10 Canadian for first transaction. What is send this guy download to Lemonade Finance.
CocoBoard is doing a lot of things.
Yes.
Are you a rich company?
CocoBoard has its own challenges we are dealing with. Unfortunately, despite all the interventions, the support CocoBoard is rendering to farmers and to our society, we don't unfortunately get the praises, but we get a flag. Yeah, why is CocoBoard not doing this? Why is CocoBoard not doing that? But indeed, CocoBoard is doing a lot.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to the part 2 of our interview with the regulator of the cocoa industry, CocoBoard. I'm having an interview with the head of the Public Affairs Unit, Fifi Boafo. We started talking about smuggling in the cocoa sector, as well as climate change and the effect of galamsey on Ghana's cocoa production. In our next part, we try and touch on some, if you like, interesting bits about Cocoa Board and some of the interventions that they give to the ordinary citizen of this country. The Cocoa Board scholarship is one of the things that a lot of people have benefited from, and it's one of the items my colleague said I should ask about when I was preparing for this interview. Fifi, thank you very much for sitting with us once again. Cocoa Board is doing a lot of interventions, doing roads, giving scholarship to people. Is the Cocoa Board scholarship still ongoing?
Well, the Cocoa Board scholarship has been taken over, for want of better expression, by the free SHS policy.
All right.
Yeah, the Cocoa Board scholarship was primarily for secondary education. So was for wards of cocoa farmers in senior high schools. As we speak, the free SHS policy is taking care of secondary education, so that will be duplication of
oh, okay.
Yeah. So now that has changed. However, the board has taken a decision to use the funds for a different purpose.
Okay.
And the different purpose is to provide basic model schools for cocoa communities.
Right.
Because we realize that yes, there's free SHS, but and every child is supposed to benefit. But a child has to get to the level of secondary school before the child can benefit from the free SHS policy. So in a situation where you have a child from these communities who is not doing well, who is not interested to go to school, will not even get to the stage where he has to enjoy free SHS. So there's a need for us to get these kids in school, educated, and build them up for secondary school education. So yes, that's what we are doing now. For the fight against child labor, for example, you realize that there are kids who are not in school, not because they do not want to go to school, but the distance they commute, because they stay on the farmstead, the distance they commute from the farmstead to the nearby school is quite a journey.
Yeah.
So the energy to do that is not there, so the child is left in the home.
Yeah.
So this time around, we are trying to have schools closer to them. My understanding of this new arrangement is that we are not just building schools, but model schools, schools of a decent level where you feel proud to have your child educated there. So you do not necessarily have to be in the urban centers to have access to this infrastructure. One of the things we've also realized that it is even difficult to have teachers volunteering to go to these communities to teach. But if you have a very decent staff bungalow, then the teacher will be happy to go there. Because those who even teach in these very remote schools, they'll prefer to live in a nearby town, travel to the school the next day. If you that's when they are child buying, or maybe they will get to school very late, exhausted and all that. But if you have them close, then they will be able to help. So yes, that's what the policy is now going forward.
So when is this going to start?
I think now the board has given approval, so the necessary work is being done. We are compiling schools from all these communities. So that compilation is ongoing, and immediately that is done, very soon there will be a launch of it, and then we'll roll it out.
Okay, I'm sure people will be excited by it, especially the cocoa farmers.
Oh yeah. In fact, we had what delayed us was the fact that we had to do thorough stakeholder engagement, because there were different proposals as to what to use the money for. Different things came about. There are those who suggested it should go to tertiary education. There are those who suggested we should do STEM with it. There are those who said we should do specialized education in the area of agriculture and research into the cocoa industry. But after the consultation, I think a lot more people within the stakeholder engagement were of the view that a better basic education system will be more beneficial compared to the others if you put them on a scale.
on that topic and on that note, I want to link it with the international report about Ghana using child labor on their cocoa farms, and for which reason maybe there should be sanctions in terms of the foreign countries buying our cocoa. Do you think this, by a long stretch, is going to eliminate that notion?
There are a number of things we are doing in dealing with the perception of child labor. We say perception because we do not subscribe to how we've been described as a country that is allowing child labor to happen. But if you have these kids in school, I think the methodology that have also been used in arriving at some of the conclusions is a bit problematic. So you go to a typical rural community, you ask the child, did you go to school today? He said, no, I did not go to school today. Where do you live? You live on the farmstead.
Yeah.
That's child labor. But genuinely, the child is not in any way involved. But that, a child of school-going age is supposed to be in school.
Yeah.
So if that child is in school, then it helps in dealing with that perception which we have to deal with. Of course, Cocoa Board has also rolled out recently our cocoa management system. The cocoa management system has a full database of every cocoa farmer in our country. And your dependents, your farm hands, everybody involved in the farmer business has been captured. Of course, the polygon maps of all the cocoa farms has also been captured. So we are able to tell that Daniel, Fifi, Kweku, Kwabna, Efo, Yauvi are the people who are involved in the farm.
Okay.
So if you extrapolate, you'll be able to tell that, okay, these are the people working. Then there's a possibility that there's a shortfall in farm hands. There may be kids involved.
Okay.
So let's go and investigate. It helps in determining. So that's another thing. Of course, the issue about deforestation, because we have the maps of every farm, we should be able to tell if there's a farm that is within the protected forest zones. So it takes away that responsibility from us. And this cocoa management system is what has given us the platform for the rolling out of the Cocoa Farmer Pension Scheme, which about a week ago we started registering farmers here.
So the pension scheme is supposed to what? Give some respite to cocoa farmers when they retire?
The pension scheme is to give me the authority to convince Daniel that it is better to go into cocoa farming than to work just with GhanaWeb.
Okay.
Because one of the things farmers have complained is that after all the work you do as a cocoa farmer, if it's time for you to go on retirement, there's nothing to rely on.
Right.
How beneficial is it for me to be in such an enterprise? But if the pension is there, it helps. And of course, as a human being, it gets to a stage where there's the need for you to say that I have done enough, and then there's the need for me to retire. What are you retiring to?
Okay.
Is there something available? And it's natural that when you age, that's where you have all this, and those problems come up. So yeah, it gives you something to rely on. So yes, the farmer pension scheme is to encourage people, the youth, to go into cocoa farming, and also to ensure that farmers, after the meritorious service to our country, they are also retiring to something decent and have a decent lifestyle and not becoming responsibility and a burden to their kids.
Cocoa Board is doing a lot of things.
Yes.
Are you a rich company?
Cocoa Board has its own challenges we are dealing with. Unfortunately, despite all the interventions, the support Cocoa Board is rendering to farmers and to our society, we don't unfortunately get the praises, but you get a flag. Yeah, why is Cocoa Board not doing this? Why is Cocoa Board not doing that? But indeed, Cocoa Board is doing a lot for our farmers and then also for our society. Unfortunately, because of the plurality of media now, also using the media platforms to also assess and to tell your story becomes difficult. These days, when there's a story and in the morning I have to speak to radio stations, I could have about 100 radio stations calling and asking for an interview. How many stations can you talk to?
Yeah.
You have the online, the television station, and of course people who are using the social media platform.
Yeah.
So it's also difficult to even tell your story. But of course, and you have different means of also reaching out to other people. Yeah, so it becomes difficult for us to fully tell our story, but then of course we are still working and finding means of telling the story. Cocoa Board is not rich. Cocoa Board resources is basically the amount of money that is realized from cocoa sale after giving the farmers their share of the FOB price, and then the amount that comes to Cocoa Board, that is what is used for all the things I've talked about and more.
One of the things people want to see Cocoa Board do is, what do we do with our raw cocoa beans? What is the future looking like? The last international news that also painted Ghana as using child labor said these children even work on the farm and they haven't even seen a chocolate in their lives or haven't tasted chocolates before. Are we going to reach a point where we are really working on the final product and not just selling it off?
You know, the discussion about whether the children of cocoa farmers have enjoyed chocolate, I do not think it should be premised on the fact that they produce cocoa, so automatically they must enjoy chocolate. Yeah, my father probably could work as a tailor, but it doesn't mean that the things he sew, I'm supposed to wear them.
I mean, I feel people feel like, I mean, if you are working on it, I mean, it's small. You know.
Yeah, but you see, the question is, so if I produce cassava, I may not eat fufu. Okay. So the fact that I produce cassava doesn't mean automatically I am supposed to enjoy it. But for me, the argument is the health and the nutritional benefit we derive from cocoa is the more reason why the children of cocoa farmers must enjoy it. Because there's a lot more they can get as an individual, as a child, by eating the chocolate or taking the cocoa products. So it is not just because I am producing it, so I must necessarily enjoy it. But it is because you can get a lot more. The flavonoids and all the things you get in cocoa. The fact that it helps in improving your cognitive performance. The fact that it helps in dealing with a lot of diseases in its prevention. That's the more reason why you should take it, not because you produce it. Yeah, I may produce something, but hey, that's not what I want to.
Yeah.
I don't like chocolate.
Maybe the children want it, but they don't have access to it.
Yeah, I don't like chocolate, but of course I like other cocoa products like the raw cocoa powder. I prefer that. But the fact that I have a cocoa farm or I work on a cocoa board doesn't mean I'm supposed to.
Right, I get the point. I get the point. But I mean, I'm sure it is your wish and hope that because of the benefits, nutritional benefits, these children would have access to. In fact,
for me, I have a responsibility. I now chair the national committee tasked with the responsibility of improving cocoa consumption. So for me, I believe strongly that every individual in Ghana must consume cocoa products.
Right.
I am happy that if you look at the effort we've put in recent years, our per capita consumption has increased by 100%. And there's a lot more we can do. There's a reason why when you go to a restaurant, you are not asked whether you want tea or coffee. You should be asked, do you want a cocoa beverage or a chocolate drink? We want to see that. If I'm getting a dessert from a restaurant, it must include chocolate products. If you visit a hotel, you should be given a chocolate or a chocolate product as part of your treats. If I enter into any hospitality center, you should be given a treat, a taste of Ghana, and the taste of Ghana is a cocoa product because Ghana is known for cocoa. So if I'm given a treat, the treat must include a cocoa product. If someone gets into Ghana as part of the visit, the tourism infrastructure available to us, there should be something within the cocoa value chain. If someone leaves Ghana, the fact that you were in Ghana, if you are getting back to your country, you must take away something from Ghana. And if you're taking away something from Ghana, definitely it must include a chocolate from Ghana. So for us, there's a lot more we can achieve within the space, apart from just processing the cocoa. Usually we complain as a people that yes, we produce the cocoa. If we look at the cocoa value chain, That's over 100 to 120 billion dollars.
Yeah.
How much do we get as a people? If you do the calculation, it's worrying. But the people who benefit, if we are able to expand, do the processing, it is not just the farmers. If, for example, Fifi Boafo, I have a company that is into cocoa processing, and I want to advertise. I come to GhanaWeb and I advertise. You are also beneficiary of the value chain.
Yeah.
The person who is going to do the marketing has a business.
Yeah.
Those who do the logistics and the transport, they have a business within the value chain. The person who has a company that is into branding or packaging, he also has a business and is part of the value chain. So we have a lot of people who are going to be beneficiaries of the value chain if we are able to go there. So that's the more reason why we are stepping out our campaign. We are advocating for consumption of our chocolate products because, yes, it will give you good health. It will build you as an individual. But it needs to also help you in getting a job.
Yeah.
Because, yes, if someone decides to have a small setup where he's selling chocolate product, I think there's a company called Chocolate Soraya. All the young men and the women who work there have been employed. Where they get their products from, those who are producing milk will get a business out of it. Yeah. Those who are producing sugar will get a business out of it. So there's a lot more we can achieve. Unfortunately, one day I met a friend who was very harsh in his critique of Cocoa Board. And it was following a story that had been published that there's a platform that had been created by a Chinese that was being used to dry cocoa. And he felt like, why is Cocoa Board not doing this? And he went on and on. So after listening to him, I just said to my friend that I know you are an engineer, and that's basically your field. What stops you from creating something like that?
Cocoa Board and say, this is something that we can work with.
And Cocoa Board can help you in getting the farmers to procure it. So we usually expect that, yes, because there's a regulator, there's an institution that has the responsibility of doing these things. They are supposed to put together engineers, they are supposed to put together all these people to do that. But it's an opportunity. The avenue is there. The fact that we produce cocoa, what can you also do within the value chain as a business person or as someone who has an idea that can help grow the industry, and you take advantage and get a business out of it.
Right, right. So that's Fifi Boafo, the head of public affairs at Cocoa Board, the regulator of the Ghana's cocoa production. We've been talking about a myriad of issues. We're into the final home stretch. We'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll wrap up our conversation on Ghana's cocoa production sector. Stay with us. We're back after this break. Into our final home stretch, final 10 minutes of our interview with Fifi Boafo, who is with Cocoa Board, discussing a lot of things about Cocoa Board and Ghana's cocoa production this year and the last few years. So Fifi, quick question. Would Ghana meet its projection in terms of cocoa production this year?
One of the things I do not usually enjoy participating is discussing production figures during the year. The reason why I do so is that this is a market that is largely speculative. So if I tell you we are producing 800,000 metric tons already, we have done 600,000 metric tons, or we have sold 500,000 metric tons, then the market can predict you that you have 200,000 metric tons, and based on that, they beat you to the price.
Okay.
So it is one very uncomfortable topic for us. And I usually, when there's a discussion about production numbers and the sales, my trading room people come like, Charlie, this is a no-go area for us. So yes, I know the media enjoys that. Of course, it's news like, oh yeah, Ghana will meet its production target. So it's the news bit of it is there.
Yeah.
But you ask yourself the implications or the effects of it. There are some media houses, they are snooping around to know how much have you sold and all that and put it out there. But the question you need to ask yourself is that who is the beneficiary of that putting out that news?
Okay.
Yes. So yes, we have a number of challenges this year, but what I can assure you is that our production numbers will be able to meet our responsibilities to our lenders and then the farmers for the year.
Okay. So finally, what would you say to farmers, to prospective farmers, now that we are losing our farmlands to Galamsey? What must be done? I was worrying that you said there are no major large-scale farming in the country. What can we do? What can government do to help Cocoa Board to achieve all of these things?
The reason why we have a challenge with the having large-scale cocoa farming is largely also due to the land tenure system we have in our country, because the interest there very intricate, and who is prepared to give out his land for cocoa farming and all that. So that's a challenge we have. But apart from that, I think the people who also do have the resources to do the large-scale farmers are usually absentee farmers like myself. So we are in Accra, and you give money for people to have the put together the cocoa farm. You barely have time to visit, so you are at the mercy of the farm hands. So it's a bit difficult, but if we have resourceful people who are prepared to go in there and start taking it as a business, then we are getting there. Recently, there's one business person we've been engaging to see how Cocoa Board can support that company in establishing a huge cocoa farm. And if you look at what they are looking...
They have the land already?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we've had, our research team has been on the land, they've taken samples and all that. I'm constrained in giving details as to where they intend setting up and all that. But clearly, you can tell that that is the way to go.
Would that be a game changer?
It will have a huge impact.
Okay.
It will have a very serious impact in terms of our production numbers. And we have people who are doing large-scale farming, because the commitment and sometimes the way our smallholder farmers go about it makes it difficult, because usually you have someone say that, I feel so, you ask the size of the farm. It's a very small farm, and it is difficult to rely on that small farm to feed the household the entire year. But if it is a business where you have a huge farm, and then you have the investment also going in there, because if it is a smallholder farmer who is producing just 3-4 bags, the person has to take care of the home. So if you ask that farmer to invest some of the money that has been made from the business into the activity, it's difficult for the farmer to do so. Not because he's not prepared to invest into his business. I understand. The resources are very small, so it's difficult for them to invest. But if it's a business where you have a lot of resources coming in, then you can invest into the business and make some good business venture out of cocoa farming.
So lastly, if there are rich people who have the means and want to venture into cocoa farming, if they reach out to Cocoa Board, can you support them?
Cocoa Board will be very excited to work with such persons who have the means and the resources. One thing that is guaranteed is that Cocoa Board will give you seedlings for free. Cocoa Board will have the extension staff who will be readily available to support you at the various districts. Our people, friends, people, random people I meet who come to me and said, Fifi, I want to go into cocoa farming, this is my area. And then quickly I call the district office, and then I link them up. And then the next time you meet the person, says, oh, your people were there. Now I've started.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So, yes, just get in touch with us. Let us know. And our seed production division will be prepared to produce the seedlings for the church staff to help you in then starting your cocoa farm. It's the way to go.
Right.
When are you starting the farm?
Very soon. Thank you very much, Fifi. It's been a very enlightening conversation, and I'm sure for those of you who are watching, you've learned one or two things and how to also participate in Ghana's cocoa value chain. It's one of our biggest revenue earners, and we need more people, more educated people to enter into that space. My name has been Daniel Odro. It's been another edition of The Lowdown here on GhanaWeb TV. My guest has been Fifi Boafo with Cocoa Board. Thank you very much, Fifi.
Thank you, Daniel.
We're back same time with another edition of the show. Until then, it's bye for now.
As a singer, I had a nice voice, but when I became deaf, my voice turned into different sounds, so I stopped singing. It was like a shame to me. Around 10 years and up, people look down on you. People, they don't welcome you as if you have done something bad by becoming deaf. That is feeling you get around people. When we finished SS, I was among the best.
Welcome to the Ghana ICT Hub, a partnership between MTN Ghana and the Government of Ghana through the Ministry of Communications and Digitization. MTN pledged to support Ghana's digitization agenda in line with its ambition to lead the delivery of digital solutions for Africa's progress. In fulfillment of this pledge, MTN Ghana has committed $25 million toward the realization of the Ghana ICT Hub project. The objectives of the Ghana ICT Hub project is anchored on the following: to create an ICT-enabled environment for human capital and ICT skills development, to develop an ICT ecosystem through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development, to provide a modern, state-of-the-art physical infrastructure to serve as a pillar for the digital Ghana agenda. The physical infrastructure, when completed, will provide 4,000 square meters of space with the following facilities: laboratories for technology training and research, innovation hub, co-working spaces for tech innovation startups, Tier 3 data center, conferencing facilities, offices and meeting rooms, commercial lettable spaces, gaming area, restaurant, ancillary facilities. The technology laboratories will be fitted with the next generation ICT equipment and applications to provide the youth of Ghana with practical training in Industry 4.0 technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, 3D printing, robotics, Internet of Things, IoT, advanced manufacturing techniques, cybersecurity, genetic engineering. The project also seeks to establish a complete ecosystem at the hub through remote access delivery to facilitate job creation for national development. The ecosystem shall comprise of MDAs, technology companies, startups, incubators, research agencies, leading universities globally, foundations worldwide, to create a community. 1. The ecosystem community shall bridge the divide between academia and industry and provide solutions to challenges in the key sectors of health, agriculture, and educational sectors of the economy. 2. It shall also run an innovation program providing mentoring and networking for the youth in tech startups. 3. The ecosystem community shall establish an innovation fund to support startups, research agencies, and other entities in the ecosystem. MTN Ghana and the Ministry of Communications and Digitization are championing the Ghana digital agenda for Ghana's development. Welcome to the digital age.
Yeah, the motivation is that looking at the economy is very hard. There's no work for the youths. We are struggling to get something to, manage ourselves.
Akufo-Addo's government has been on a journey of expanding the country's tax base. One of the most recent ones is a 10% tax on earnings from lotteries, games of chances, or what we call sports bettings. This is Say It Loud on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Echi Atisu. We are here in Dome, Pillar 2. We're speaking with some young men who have been engaged in the act of betting, which is very popular. Let's speak to some of them. This is Richard. Richard, you are the one who penned the statement from the Concerned Bettors Association of Ghana. Okay, tell me, what exactly is the motivation to have penned that letter?
Yeah, the motivation is that looking at the economy is very hard. There's no work for the youth. We are struggling to get something to, manage ourselves. So street boys have been struggling to get something to go and try their luck, to get something to establish themselves. So if you are putting a 10% tax on betting, those who are betting, is something which is very bad, because already they have taxed the company. So if you are taxing those who are into betting, that is very bad.
It sounds like this is beyond just the monies you get. I want us to more or less understand where all of this is coming from. Why betting is such a big deal for all of you. Abednego, you also bet, right? Why do you actually bet?
Just to multiply my income. Yes.
So that's to say that the income you get already is not it's not enough for you?
Not at all.
At all?
Not at all.
At all?
Not at all.
Pablo, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Because let's take it. Last year, we were our fare was increased multiple of times. Like
that's our fuel, right?
Yeah, it was increased, and it affect our fare. So let's take it. I'm being paid 400 cedis a month, and I save 50 cedis every month out of my salary. And now it has been what? The fares has been increased several times, like 4 times or 5 times in that year. So if I'm earning that 50 cedis, I'm saving that 50 cedis for maybe to get a business being done. And now, because of the multiplier of the fares and things that are being, the economy we are all facing, then that means that 50 cedis I can save.
So that's to say that for you, it's being able to balance the increase in livelihoods,
yes,
and all of that. Levite, you also bet. Yeah. I want to find out, how long have you been betting?
For 4 years now, I would say.
4 years? Well, that's a long time. And that means that you've made a lot of money between the period?
Quite.
A sizable amount. Yeah. And you also agree with the likes of Pablo and Richard that this is to add up to your income?
Yeah, very true. Because, for instance, I'm a student, and it's not all the time that you can go to your parents for money. And right now, you don't have a really legit certificate for a job, so you can't get really a big job, that can fetch you enough income. So this is what we do, quite safe, And if you read the letter, things were captured in. If the government go ahead to implement this 10% on this winnings, then guys will go back to the dubious way of, getting money, which is very bad. So I think the government already is not, employing a lot of youths, and this gambling has made us, get something for ourselves and all that. So I think already we are paying tax. When you transfer mobile money from your account to your bet account, there's deduction. When you win, you transfer it from your bet account to your mobile money account. Even when you transfer it to your bank account, still there's deduction. So
the government is making an argument that they want to expand the tax margins in the country, and betting seems like a very big area now, which is where a lot of monies are coming from. You've admitted that you got a lot of money from there. Is that not the case?
I agree.
Francis, you also agree, because he has been doing this for 4 years. You as well, how long have you been?
Been betting is around 7 years.
You be like you be the Methuselah for betting inside.
That's right. Yesterday like this, I made a bet sent to one of my guy. He staked the bet 300 cedis and he won 1,600. Oh, wow. Right. So if he took his 300 out, he make a profit 1,003. So if government, you wanted to take a tax 10%, but through the company of the bet, you tax them 25%. Either they win or they lose, you tax them 25%. So how can you wanted to tax we, the youth, we are struggling because no job, we are just struggling. I just win a bet to set my business. I employ people. I pay taxes.
You and I had an informal conversation before we started this, and you said you got the money to start your business from betting. That must have been some big cash, because I don't see, is betting that lucrative?
Yeah, if I don't stick, if I'm sticking bet, sometimes I stick bet 1,000 Ghana or 500.
And that gives you a return of how much?
Sometimes I lose. So if government wanted to tax me 10%, so if you want to try to tell me that if I place a bet, I didn't win, you want to try, I should keep trying. If I win, then you take that 10%. No, that's not making sense to me at all.
That's an interesting, very, very interesting analogy you create there. This is Jupiter. Jupiter, you as well. You look like the calmer person, but I want to suspect that you are also as involved in betting as much as possible. How well or not is this betting thing for you? Because it seems everybody else agrees. Do you also think that it's like the best thing for a young man like you now?
Yeah, I think there is no job opportunity and the youth are struggling. And moreover, we are creating a chance for ourselves. And I want to ask the government, if you lose the bet, is it going to replace our money which we involve in the betting for the youth? That's what I want to ask the government.
How much or how many times does a person lose a bet? No, maybe for you. Let's take a situation. Yeah.
For me, I try and then try over and over. If I don't win, I try, and it's not all that. It's not all that time that you win the bet. So I want to.
I get your point, Richard. You have also been betting for long. You are like the boss here. Yeah. What's the highest, if you can tell me, that you've ever staked bet?
My highest stake.
Sometimes. What's the highest money you put into a bet?
Sometimes 500, 1,000, 700, and from 1,000 below.
So you've not done anything above 1,000 cedis. I see. Now, this is quite an interesting thing. All of you, or a number of you, have said that this is because there are no jobs. What kinds of areas or what kind of jobs are you looking out for that the issues of betting is solving now, that maybe perhaps the state authority should be looking at?
They should create jobs for the youths.
What kind of jobs are we
that they
talking
can
about?
pay, that they can pay well. Not that you create job that you pay 500, 600. No, because somebody can use 100 Ghana, stake, get about 50,000.
And that's from the comfort of their home.
Yes, and that 50,000, you can use that 50,000 to establish yourself. Like my brother is saying, he have won and used that money to establish this one and employ many people that he's paying tax here. So the betting is helping us a lot. So the government should rather pray for us to win and use the money wisely to do something so that they can tax the thing that we are using the money for.
Francis, you run the business. It's a barbering shop?
Yes, a barbering shop.
Okay. How many people do you employ?
How many seats over here?
So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. I think there's
I
another.
have to use 6 baht because of I.
Okay.
Yeah, my other shop has 7 workers over there.
So plus this.
Plus
So
this
that's
one.
like 14.
Yes. So I used to pay that. I pay taxes too. So I want to ask the government that the bets of the company, right? You tax them, right? And I heard that they said we the youth, we are lazy. We don't want to work. So that's why we are sticking the bet. So I wanted to, if they want the youth to stop sticking the, then they should stop the bet company.
But is betting a lazy job?
It's not a lazy job. It's not easy. It's not.
Tell me how difficult or not.
It's not a lazy job. It's not easy to tell me that maybe Man City or Manchester. You said, oh, Man City will win. I'm not the one going to play the ball. It's just the confidence I have. I have confidence Manchester will win, and I just put my money on it. And Manchester won, and you say, oh, Manchester have won, so the money have won. So I have to, if maybe I stick a bet, maybe 1,000 cities, maybe I'll do maybe 2 odds, 1,000 cities, I win 2,000. If I win 2,000, if I take my 1,000 out, I made profit 1,000 cities. So government want to tell me that my 1,000, you take 10% out of it.
But 10% is it so much?
It's too much. You want to take 10%?
It's not so much. It's actually too much.
Too much. So I wanted to ask. Okay, if I didn't win, so God, want to try to tell me I should keep trying. I should keep trying. So if I don't have money, I'll go and still go and use it to stick a bit. Or am I lying?
Which is not something any of us wants. Levite, you are in school. Doesn't betting take you away from your books?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Because I feel the sense that you have to spend a lot of time on your phone and do all the permutations. It doesn't take you away from your books.
No. Right now, it's much easier to place a bet. Gone are the days you have to go to the betting centers to, place your bet. But now, in the comfort of your home, anywhere you are, you can place it. And now there are a lot of odds platforms. On Telegram, you can get on WhatsApp, Facebook, on Twitter.
So it's not just on the apps that...
No, you can get odds from places. People even sell them. If you trust them, you send your money, they give you the odds and you place it.
Oh, that's new to me. Interesting.
Yeah, people sell the odds. So it's not really time consuming. And if you know what you're doing, you just do it and you're done.
Richard, I want to come back to you because you are the one who heads the group. How big of a market, let me call it that, is the betting market? How many people, just give me a number, actually, maybe Dome, how many people do you think actually engage in betting?
You can say, what is a lot. There are many here.
When you say a lot, can you give me a figure?
Like,
Abednego, you seem to have a number.
More than 70%.
70%
yes.
of the
people living
indigents here in Dome.
Yes. And if you take Ghana, the whole country, we are about more than 80% of the population. Big men.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ministers?
Yes.
We know them. They have been calling us for us and all that. I know ministers who have been calling for us. Big people have been calling me for us. And I've been giving
Richard, I want us to get this. You've had a minister call you?
Yeah, of course.
A minister of state? And they want all
people. Yeah, big people. People have been, we know them. They have been calling us. I can't mention names, They have been calling for us Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My phone, forget it. They have been calling for us. Can you give him 10 us? I have 5,000. I need 10 us. I need 5 us. I've been doing for them. So
you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a point here. Let's say, let's take this month for example. If I try, let's say throughout the month, and I win once, it means I lost more than what I win. If I lose 1,000 cedis, I can win 500 cedis. If you take 10% out of it, am I making gains or losses? I'm losing.
So there's also the whole question about, just so that we get this into more perspective. Yes. The decision to bet is left to you. When the government wants to tax, like they do for everything. In fact, they're having conversations about things like even sanitary pads that are taxed. And I'm trying to just establish why bets should not be taxed at all. Because if you lose, is that not your decision to have gone into it and you lost?
Yes. So do they care about how I make money to bet? Are they interested in that? They are not interested in my losses. I try more than, let's say today, for example, I spent more than 50 cedis already. I don't know how much I'm going to make at the end of the day. So if, let's say, I spent 50 cedis and then I won, let's say 200 cedis, profit of 150 cedis, you take 10% out of it. Where am I going?
Jupiter, you were saying something. I'll come to you, Francis. Jupiter, you were saying something that they're having pastors.
Yeah, they're having pastors who are calling for odds and even into betting.
You know any pastor?
Yeah, I know, but
a man who is clerical.
Yeah, clerical.
And they come to you for.
What
would be the motivation for a pastor to leave his faith and his trust in God, who is able to do all things, to come and ask you for?
Yeah, because there are some pastors who said betting is not a sin. I even debated on that with a pastor. He said it's not a sin. Yes.
There's a story of Jesus actually sacking people from the temple because they were gambling. Is that not the same thing? And the pastor says it's not.
Oh, but I emphasize on the betting, and they said betting is not a sin. Yeah.
Very interesting. Francis,
I wanted to ask the government that I hope it tax the company of the bet. So if you wanted to tax us, then just go to the bet and tell them, okay, maybe that 20% I used to tax you people, I want to increase it. Because if the bet people, if they are not making profit, then they have to go. They are making profit, that's why they are more coming. They are making profit. So if government is the bet of making profit, you think the youth, now we the youth, or we are into betting, so you wanted to tax us. No, that one, I'm not.
Are you for an outright no tax, or you think that it is just too much?
No, me, I can. If I want to say, we are sticking the bet. Government, you don't have to tax us because at all because
not even a percent.
Because if I wanted to deposit into my bet account, e-levy, you would deduct me. If I win bet, I took the money, deposit into my account, you take your percentage. So why the bet company, you know, increase their money you used to tax them? If you tax them, the bet people don't want to reduce their odds, we are okay.
Levite,
I believe not taxing bet earnings, I think we can't say he shouldn't tax.
So you agree that at least some tax should be on it?
At least.
So give me a figure.
From 1 to 3. Because according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, you are supposed to pay as you earn. That's the pay as you earn. And that one it has to be paid monthly. But the government is telling me if one day I have 10 slips and I win, he's taking 10% from each slip. That's not right. When we are paying as we are winning, or we are paying as we are earning, that one, even that analogy, it fits in, but it shouldn't be daily. When he's taxing us, he should tax us monthly according to the pay as you earn. And even with the income tax, we pay on year assessment. The whole income we get in a year, we assess it and we deduct. But the government is not doing that. He's taxing us daily, every single day. When you have 50 slips and we win all, he's taking 10% from each slip. And I don't think it's right.
Okay. All right. So apart from Francis, I don't get a clear understanding of what exactly all of you use. But this question will go to everyone. I'll start with you, Richard. What do you use your income from betting for?
I was able to get taxi and Uber, and I have a boutique which I've been operating.
All in your name?
Yeah.
I bet nego.
Yes, a plot of land in my name.
You bought a
from
land?
betting, yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And Pablo, how about you?
Me, I just started show for almost 2 years now.
Hey, that's just started?
Yes.
2 years is just started.
But it has really helped me because my income I work and receive is not to write home about.
I see. And then Jupiter?
I just entered.
You two just entered? How long is it just entered? Now,
not quite ago.
Which is how long?
2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months. You're a baby. So at least. But have you won something?
Yeah.
You've won something in the last 2 months. And Francis, you are the one who has a business. Yeah. But apart from that, what other thing do you?
Through this bet, I had a land I built 2 bedrooms for my mom is staying inside right now because of betting.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So now you don't need to work in a corporate or anything.
No,
you can do betting all your life.
No, I'm still hustling.
You're still hustling. Levite, you are in school. Do you use the money to pay fees or something?
No, my fees there for my.
It's sorted.
Yeah, it's sorted. But I've been able to rent. I've moved out from the hostel.
Okay.
Yeah, so through betting, I've been able to rent my own place.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, very.
All right. So, well, we're still on the conversation. We are at Dome Pillar 2, and we're just discussing the whole new tax of 10% for winnings on lotteries or games of chances for all the betting people, anyone who bets at all. The government now wants to tax a 10% tax on whatever your earnings are. When we return, we'll go more into the conversation. All right, so we're still here with some young guys in Dome Pillar 2. We are discussing the issue of betting and the government's new 10% tax on all winnings from lotteries and games of chances. Now, Francis, we had an informal conversation before we returned. I just want to hear it. You say you introduced someone. Who is that person?
Oh, I introduced my girlfriend to bet.
So when you introduce her, tell me.
It's not that every day. Maybe sometimes if maybe I do a bet. Maybe if I know that this bet is strong bet, I have confidence this bet, I'll just give it to him. Stick this amount. Or sometimes I'll send him money. This amount, stick it. Don't reduce it.
And so you mentioned that you have more than an app for betting. How many apps do you use?
I have Betway.
Okay.
I have Sportybet. I have M Sport. And I have Superbet.
That's 4. That's 4. And all of these bring you some returns.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Now, I am a very intrigued person. So I'm just wondering, apart from all the things you have told me, Levite, I want to start with you. Is betting addictive?
Very, very, very addictive. If you don't take care, you think that you are saving and you have to collect your money back, and that is a very dangerous thing. You try every day and you don't win. The day that you try to, today I'm tired, I won't stick. But maybe you had certain games in your head. That day, that games is going to play. You understand? So the next day, you don't have any choice than to stick again. Maybe the day that you say you not stick, that day the bet will play.
Purely a game of chances, right? But you're still in it. You're still in it. Pablo, you're shaking your head. Why are you still in it?
Because
beyond all the fact that it's very addictive.
Yeah, it's addictive, like addicted if you are not careful. But it depends your mindset. It's really risky, like it's a risky work to do. But because of our work, the work that we are doing, the income, we are not getting it. So there's nothing you need to do, because I can't go and steal.
And all of the guys are on their phones. I hope you are not betting whilst we are here. That would have been serious, because I'm already asking about addictions. So if you were doing that right, yeah, I'll be wondering. But beyond the addiction, Richard, is it true that people go for Gbala to do? What I mean by Gbala is they go for juju and all that to do betting.
Yes, I don't believe in those things, but sometimes I hear people saying that. For me like this, somebody have called me, telling me I should come, he will do something for me and you win. By me, I don't believe in those things.
But does it work?
I'm not sure, because it's about thinking and research. You have to do research about the things and think and pray for favor. Not that you go for somebody to give you some agbala or something. It's about thinking and research.
I see. Yeah. Thinking, research. You people mentioned women, so now I am also wondering how many women actually bet. Do women bet?
Yes.
You apart from your girlfriend?
Yes, a lot.
They bet.
A lot.
I bet go you know someone that's your sister or someone you know bet.
No.
You don't know anyone who bets?
Any lady.
Okay. How about you, Jupiter?
No, I don't know.
You don't know any?
I don't know anyone.
Okay. Levite, you know why? Some of your colleagues?
Yeah, I know.
Your mates
yeah, my classmates, ladies who we are in a group, and I send them out. Yeah, and when they also get some from somewhere, they post it in a group and we all stick it. So a lot of ladies are into bet.
So this is not just a men's thing.
Not at all.
But why does it seem like it's only men who bet?
You see, the ladies, they don't really come out to admit it, but they do.
They do.
Yeah, they come to our DMs and ask for what they do. They really bet.
Yeah, interesting. Now let's look at the way forward. 10% tax is going to really happen as it is. What would happen when it starts? Richard, let's start.
We are just appealing to the government not to introduce that 10%, because it's something that's going to worry us. Because there's no money in the system. The system is very hot. We are trying to get something from here to go and try our luck, get something big and establish ourselves. So if you are taxing the company and you want to tax me as well, it's something which is very bad.
I asked this question earlier. Do you want an outright no implementation, or you want a reduction?
No implementation.
At all?
At all.
Not at all. So how about you, Abenego? It will happen eventually.
Yes, but if it does, I think it's a lazy way of making money. Yeah, that's what I think.
You think the government is just trying to capitalize on people's smartness and earnings?
Petty company is paying tax. If they are paying tax, I don't know why they are customers. must be taxed when they earn money from betting. You understand? Because they are not interested in what I'm losing. If I lose 100 cedis today and I'm able to win, let's say 300 cedis tomorrow, and you take 10% out of it, I think that's a lazy way of making money.
Pablo?
Yeah, I think if the tax is being implemented, it will rather bring a lot of criminal activities on the street, because at times I get money out of some of it and I help some of my brothers around, so it limits.
This one will reduce your money eventually.
And it limits the number of people like trying to make money on the street, like attacking people, taking their phones and other things, because they can get help from me. So since they can't get help from me or another person, they'll go back to the street and taking people's phone.
Jupiter, you as well, what would you do? Because like I'm saying, it's really going to happen.
Oh, it's very hurtful if they implement the 10%, because the company is paying the tax of the 10%, and we.
I think the companies pay what, 25?
25, and we the individual is paying 10%. It's very hurtful. It's very hurtful. And is the government going to refund our money as we lose or not?
Interesting. Francis, you as well.
If the government know that maybe we make a lot of money in the bet, they need money, they should come inside and try it. That's yes. They should come. The government need money. You should use the country's money to stick a bet and win and use it to. If you know that we are making money, you should come in and try.
All right. All of you speak very passionately about betting and all that. Are you spiritual people? Do you believe in the things of the afterlife? Do you believe in things like that? Now I'm going to ask you a question. If somebody told you that your lives depended on not betting, meaning that if you stopped betting, you would live long, who would go for that gamble? You are shaking your head.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Yes.
Hypothesis. Imagine that was the case.
I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in
things
that?
The only thing that can make you live long is knowing the truth. Yes.
And one of them is betting.
Oh yes.
You have money, you live long.
So far as I'm not stealing the money I used to bet, I make legit money to bet. So it's not affecting anybody. That's not a sin to me.
Levite, how about you? You are told that when you stop betting, you have a good life and everything.
I will stop.
You will stop?
Yeah, I will stop. I think I will.
Is that to say that you actually see yourself one day stop betting?
Obviously. I won't do it to the end of time. Obviously, some way, somehow, along the line, I'll stop.
You stop.
The earlier question you posed to the guys, whether they are for outright no implementation or no. As I mentioned earlier, according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, you have to pay as you earn. And we agree that the government can tax us, but the 10% is too much. And even the pay as you earn, you're supposed to be paid monthly. So if the government is taxing us, he should do it monthly. Calculate all the money we get through betting.
But would that not be the same? Because if I take the money now or I take it later, is that not the same?
Putting my monthly earning there and taking 10%, that is different from taking 10% out of my slip.
Everyone.
In a day, if I have like 10, I have 10 slips and I win all, they are going to take 10% from each slip. And I think it's too much. So maybe from 1%, this is the very first time we are hearing of this. So you shouldn't start from 10. Because if he sees that it's very lucrative, he's going to increase it. Maybe from 10 to 15.
Interesting. All right, I want to thank you all very much, Richard. But before we leave, just a final one. Do you see yourself actually stop betting one day?
Oh yes, for sure.
You want to stop one day?
It's when I make a lot of money from it and establish myself well.
How much is a lot of money?
Right now, if I get like maybe 400,000 or 400,000 from betting now, I'm sure I can use that money to do something which will generate income for me. So I'll stop. And maybe the new ones will come in again. I will like to.
I'm most grateful to all of you. Thank you, Levite. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Jupiter, Pablo, Abednego, and then Richard. So that has been our conversation here. Betting, 10% tax. Whether it would actually happen or not, we are yet to tell. This has been Say It Loud on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Eche Atisu. Remember, you can go to www.ghanaweb.com for news. Until another time, stay safe.
I was doing mates from Accra to Seko to Medina. I used to go and sleep with friends. Sometimes when you go, they will not give you the chance. They will tell you their girlfriends are coming around. So I need to go and sleep in uncompleted, sometimes in a kiosk. Because of food, I need to go to Presec to go and wait for the students. After eating, they are left over. I and my friends, that's what we go for. People were laughing at me. Agent who doesn't have a place to sleep. How can agent be sleeping in a kiosk while you give people mansion to sleep in? From the talk, I realized that no, I can do something without a capital. My latest job now is Flagstaff House. I painted Flagstaff House.
They can promise to look alike. Charlie can promise me fresh boy. Everybody just starts. Fine. We all have throwback Thursdays. But I know be this one.
Once again, we are back to discuss issues relating to the arts and entertainment with a touch of wit. Hello and welcome to eForum on GhanaWeb TV. The name is Abrantipa. Today we are looking at the celebrity lookalikes, and later on we'll focus on Jidubliambule and KOD. I'm sure you've been following the events, a bit of back and forth, but Romeo, Ambassador Romeo is Medina Assemblyman and Medina Social Welfare Assemblyman, event organizer, artist, manager, a poet, former comedian. Romeo, Romeo, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
If you are fine, Medina for say. Kwesi Martinez is a film producer and then entertainment analyst. Kwesi, thanks for joining us. If you are fine.
Oh, you're well done.
Last time, I think Sena Miche TV, I've forgotten the channel. And I am say, oh, Abrantipa share me tenea. Say me look alike net soon. What's your look alike, Anna?
Dabi.
Unyan shy. Romeo shall look alike.
As will be 7 by me own it.
But you see, this, I think the last time we had this conversation was when the whole thing started. There was this Kwame Eugene lookalike who took a picture with Kwame Eugene at, I think, Angel FM Studios or so. And since then, we've seen Kiddy, and now there is Medical, there is Ken Promise. And they are going for interviews and are you comfortable with the fact that we have all these celebrity lookalikes all over, wherever you pass, and the fact that they are coming out with even a song and they are going around for radio interviews?
I don't have a problem with people having that craze or crave of looking like someone, or the fact that there seems to be some little resemblance, so they want to capitalize on it to show themselves to fame. But my problem has to do with the media houses, giving audience to people of sorts. My reasons being that there are a lot of underground artists who are doing well, who are looking for avenues to project their jobs, their works. These people are not giving the opportunity, but there's a group of people who are capitalizing on other people's fame. And you're giving them audience at the expense of the original artist. like sort of like having a parody sort of replica account, and then someone is running an interview, and sometimes to some extent they end up even performing their songs. Remember this guy? I think he's late. The guy who was Anochi Supremo. You know, he had that kind of in all sense, even the voice, everything looks. You would think is actually Lumba's son. That's how other people projected him to be, and for him, his stance was even that he saw Daddy Lumba as a father. So he wanted to get close, so that he will also, through that, he will be modeled and become someone better. But then Daddy Lumba also didn't like the idea, because it looks like I'm a legend, I'm rated high, and before someone gets me to perform, people go through so much. People only hear of me when they are playing my song online, or it's a CD or pen drive or whatever. But if it has to do with performance, it has to go through me. But Anochi Supremo was doing those like mini performance, so people will not miss the real Daddy Lumba, because they could have, even if not the originality, they could have someone who could deliver that flavor. And it's bad business. Honestly, it's bad business. It's a different ball game if the person has a band, and then you join the band and you are performing together. You're also building your CV or repertoire of sounds, so that in future, even when you're alone, like the Ofurian Ponsers, who later became men of their own, it's fine. But picking the person's image and feeding from it, for me, it's a no-no. Just like social media, if not for the blue ticks on Twitter and then that of Facebook, it's easy for people to have a parody account to act like someone, and it's criminal. So my problem is not even with the people. My problem has to do with the media houses who are giving audience to those people, and everyone will start using anyone's image, or in the name of look-alike. You get it? No, like it doesn't sit well. Maybe problem in media houses, no. Because a lot of people in the fray who are looking for opportunities.
But these people too may have talents. You heard me say that they are coming out with a song, and there are quite a number of people who seem intrigued by the fact that they have a song.
Abrantipa, until recently, where they're having a song together, most of them perform. When you talk about Kiddie Look-alike, you try performing Kiddie's song. If you talk about even the guy like the medical look-alike, he tried to rap like medical. You get it? The looks fine. People look up to people, but the commercial aspect is where my problem is. You get it? When artists are even struggling to make shows, to even get to find avenues to even promote their things, if not for social media, and then these people are occupying all those spaces which, in real sense, were meant for the original artist. So it makes it very difficult.
Martinez, if you were one of these artists and you are not being impersonated, but people are coming to me for the mere fact that I look like you, so they want me at an event, not to perform your song, but I mean, this is Kwame Eugene look-alike, this is Kiddie look-alike. They are not impersonating you in any way. They have not gone to take any money to say, I am Kwame Eugene, I'm coming to perform. Would you be perturbed?
Well, it depends. I mean, if there's that communication, if I'm actually aware of what is going, if it's explained properly or clearly for me to actually understand the whole vibe, maybe I might not be that angry. Might be cool with me, because, like you said, I think Romeo rather Anochi Supremo, Dio Jr. They met Lumba, and at a point they even performed together. Lumba was happy to see him because it's very interesting. There's that belief that every human being is created 3 or 4. And so you one day meet someone that challenge yourself, you see yourself in that person. When it comes to look-alike, it's normal. Even our kids start from home. Okay, your daughter or your son, that's your look-alike. But where maybe the media gives it attention is the fact that these are celebrated people or personalities, and we have some guys or some people from nowhere just looking like them, definitely attention will be given to them. Not as maybe promoting them, but it's news, it's story, it's entertainment. You get it? So for me, I think it's normal. It cuts across celebrities having looks alike around, especially when you go into the football circles. We've seen Neymar look alike, and he looked just like Neymar. We've seen Messi. At a point, you know, he became a very huge problem, especially with the Messi look-alike, because there was rumor that he has conned 23 women. Allegedly, he has conned 23 women. Because when they see him, they think that's Messi.
One of the points Romeo raised was that it's affecting the original acts, because one, the attention that should have been given to them, which you have addressed. I mean, the point of the media. There are some who say that what they are doing, what the lookalikes are doing, will increase the streams of the original acts. Is that the case for you? Do you see that, or that's far-fetched?
I understand where Romeo is coming from, because obviously, whether we like it or not, they will take something from the artist. It doesn't matter them maybe playing shows or performing to people, that aside. But once you see them, attention will be switched to them. So clearly they take something from the artist. At a point you might not feel comfortable, depending on how attention is given to him or her. And that is where Romeo is coming from. For the first time, once we spot them, it is news. But when we give them too much attention, or when we give credence to their image, that is where it somehow becomes right, because you give them some kind of recognition, and at a point they will feel big, they feel like they are stars. In fact, they will act like them. Maybe they might, like I said earlier, they might not play shows in the name of the artist, but there are certain advantages that they will be, you know, exposed to or introduced to, and they will take them. Because let's say Kwame Eugene lookalike travels to
Nkranza
or Fanchinebra. They probably people out there who have not seen Kwame Eugene before. That's the real Kwame Eugene. When they meet him, Charlie, the guy go fit take advantage for it. You get it. Unless we in the capital city, that we are more, you know,
exposed to him.
Yes. Apart from that,
the picture Kwame Eugene took with one of them, and then even Kiddy, would you say that was an endorsement of a sort?
Yeah, I feel it's also an issue, because these are things people capitalize on and start swindling people. And it's easy to do, because these are people, they say, okay, they have references, that's with pictures and even videos, with even interviews to back their claims. And then, okay, here am I. Perform videos, go online and pull one of these stories, where, and then we get it. Whatever they would have done before, you realize, oh, why? So I'm looking at the swindling aspects, the image rights. You get it. People struggle to make names for themselves, and even with the streams, celebrities are not getting enough, and then you have people tapping out of those numbers, which are not enough. Of course, it will take so much from them. For me, I think it should be shattered right from the word go, and the media should call in and rather create spaces for underground artists. You know, you remember this guy? Is it Barry, the guy who I met him here some time ago?
Who?
Thank God you left. Your ex left you for me. Bakadabri.
Yeah.
See, there are people doing good stuff who will need the avenue to promote good things.
But Romeo, beyond what you are saying, don't you feel any form of excitement in the industry with the presence of these people?
Maybe I don't fancy that celebrity thing.
Okay.
But I feel the people's brands. Branding is sensitive, and if care is not taken, if there's a dent, let's assume this one of them ends up committing sort of a serious vice like rape or something, and it's Kwame Eugene look-alike. Kwame Eugene look-alike, and people are using that. You realize they are on billboards. Maybe the person would really want to do, but say, oh, this guy can do. When they see him, they might not even think twice. They might think he's the one. So let's just use him at a cheaper cost. You are killing someone else's business. So in all facets of the entertainment benefits, in terms of image, revenue raking, streams, they affect. And in the long run, people might think it's just for the fun of it. But yeah, here they are trying to come up with a song, and they will be using the parody names attached to them, and they'll be promoting their songs, and people will be streaming at the expense of the original artists. So the authentication is being eroded.
Fine, you don't like what they are doing. Any panel was a Kwame Eugene, and people say yes or say no. What should he do with the image that he has now, so that it will have a positive influence on them, in order not to affect the original Kwame Eugene?
Okay, Abrantipa, in elsewhere, there are replicas of presidents or leaders, so that if the president isn't well and there is sort of an outdoor event, someone is seated, the person wouldn't speak, just that the presence of the president is needed, so that person is put in state. Meanwhile, the president is indisposed, is maybe sick or bedridden or something, and then they put the person there. You get it? To cover a situation. That is how lookalikes are used elsewhere. For instance, our president here, if maybe he's in America, but no one knows he's in America, and then maybe he's going for treatment, and security-wise, they didn't want anyone to know he's out of the country. They get a replica to sit in for him, and he looks like him. I've seen someone is within the government who looks like President Akufo-Addo. Maybe you've not noticed. You get it? There was even an issue of Adjasa for someone who looked like her. It was alleged that the person sat in for me while Adjasa was in the States. So all these things, like, they have the benefits in terms of in real life. So you can look like Kwame Eugene, but you're a medical doctor by profession. You don't have to perform Kwame Eugene's songs elsewhere to prove that you are his look-alike.
Martinez,
boss.
Yeah, what should these people be doing with their lives?
With these guys, I mean, you watch the video, they have come together. I don't get it.
The synergy.
It's an association. You have come together for what?
Look-alike.
So it's like there's an agenda to go out there, search for any guy who looks like
asking for investors.
What is the meaning? You see, that is where the problem comes. Yes, for Kwame Eugene look-alike, I mean, like you said, he has met Kwame Eugene, and it looks like he has gained some endorsements, because once you take a picture with him, that's endorsement. Because if you Kwame Eugene appreciated the fact that, wow, this is, you know, something amazing, fine. But if you're a musician, be yourself. When you try to sound like Kwame Eugene, because you have the looks, now you try to dress like him, you try to create the same hairstyle, you try to talk like him, that is dangerous.
You will not get any credit because everything will be given to Kwame Eugene.
You are not being fake. You get it? Yes, you look like him. After all, everybody looks like somebody. But when you come together and you are now trying to rap like medical, because you are medical look-alike, you try to sing like Mr. Drew because you are Mr. Drew look-alike. What's the agenda? You come together and what? Call for investors. It makes no sense, especially with the Kim Promise guy. It's an insult to Kim Promise.
He says
the Kim Promise look-alike. It's an insult. Charlie Kim Promise is the fresh boy. Everybody gets starts. Fine. We all have throwback Thursdays. But I know be this one.
Yeah. See, I have a lot of promising earrings. You see them real, like, look-alike.
This is the real.
Even the ones I know, they are barbers.
He was in earrings like Kim Promise. One of the videos I saw, they were entering a house or something, and he was in earrings. When you look at him from sideways, yeah, you see him to be Kim Promise, wearing earrings, but when you look at him directly, he doesn't look like Kim Promise. Familiar look alike. Charlie, what then they do It'd be embarrassing.
Right. So that's Kwesi Martinez. He's a film producer. We'll go for a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about KOD and GhanaWeb. Welcome back. You're watching eForum on GhanaWeb TV. The name is Abrantipa. I'm doing this with McDonald Nane Asare, aka Ambassador Romeo, and Kwesi Martinez. So last week we spoke about Ambule and KOD, high life musician GhanaWeb, and radio personality, event organizer, MC, fashion designer KOD. For those who may not be aware, Ambule grants an interview, says VGMAs is an enemy to high life music, and that's because nkofo bonyum na se reggae kra na se omo use the Chi language, you know, so I say a high life. So more or less categorization is a problem. And so KOD did a post and, you know, berated Ambule. Then Ambule grants an interview and says that KOD is a child. He's a shallow-minded, and is the reason why he said those things. I'm going to Europe tour. I'm going on a Europe tour in May next year. My music, Ambule's music, and in June, I'll be back on tour. So when he sits and talks, can he take his clothes on tour as a designer like the way I am going to tour with my music? Can he take his DJing on tour like the way I am going on tour with my music? If these people talk, you know they are shallow-minded. So KOD comes back and says he's giving his final words on it. He comes out with an epistle. I'll read it quick, then I'll get your submissions. Final words to Ambule. Lee won't sit on the VGMA board in and out for over 20 years and allow high life to die.
That's Lee Dodu.
No, Lee.
Lee. Okay.
Lee, as in that's his Nikki, KOD.
Okay.
And allow high life to die when he's played, produced, and managed some of the best high life songs and artists for almost 30 years. Celebrated high life musicians like Amanziba, Mr. Simons, Okreku Mante, and the Dusty, Dinah Hobson, Kiki Bansin, and many great music talents and proponents won't sit and allow VGMA to be a curse to high life when they sit on the board. It would take only an ungrateful artist to ever suggest VGMA is a curse to high life. I typically wouldn't have commented when Ambule said the VGMA is a curse to high life, but I realized he's done lots of loose talks in the last couple of years, especially against his own colleagues and to people who should look up to him in the music industry. Choosing to make that unfortunate comment about VGMA in public, I decided to respond as a prominent member who is being part of the VGMAs and the board for over 20 years. Ambule made vitriolic attacks on Stonebwoy, Daddy Lumba, and many of his colleagues these last few years. What's wrong with him? Since 1972, how many musicians from Takrady has he produced or helped to the top? Hasn't he contributed to High Life's demise? If it's all about himself, every creative has the responsibility to evolve over time, else they go still. At a legendary status, one earns his place in their chosen field and endeavor, and should not make mediocre statements against his colleagues